Imagine if you spent your entire life training to become the world's greatest assassin. Everyone knew your name. You were considered the most dangerous person alive. But out of nowhere, you find yourself being hunted by elite spies, and suddenly, you get sent to another world. And once you arrive in this strange new land, you discover you were summoned by a certain young lady. Let's say she's rather enticing, who wants to make you her husband. She assumes you're completely powerless, so she decides to let you live off her generosity. All she really needs is a husband so her dad will stop nagging her. But she's no ordinary woman. Aside from being, well, extremely well endowed, she also happens to be incredibly strong. In fact, she's one of the most respected generals in this world. So, what would you do? Would you tell her the truth that you're a highly trained killer? Or, after a lifetime of violence, bloodshed, and survival, would you just give in and enjoy the easy life as the Empress's kept man? Honestly, I'd be tempted. I'd probably go back and forth on it. But what's our guy gonna choose? At this very moment, the story shows us he's still being chased by the assassin guild he once belonged to. During the chase, there's a sudden explosion, and then we cut to the Empress performing a summoning ritual. She declares, "In the name of the spirit that dwells within me, I summon a servant from a different time and space." Suddenly, someone appears on her bed, head covered with a cloth. The figure removes the cover, looking around and wondering, where are the people chasing me? He glances around confused, trying to make sense of the situation. But we already know who this troublemaker is. It could only be our protagonist, Xiao Tian, and the Empress who summoned him. That's Zi Ruyan. She leans on her hand, clearly disappointed, seeing that the man she called forth looks like just some regular guy. Meanwhile, our shameless boy is already blushing, thinking, gorgeous. That angelic face, that flawless skin. She's like a wild, untamable ocean, a force of nature with an unbeatable spirit. Can't really blame him on that one. Then the Empress sighs and mutters, "You know what? This actually works out. You'll save me a lot of trouble." Xiao Tian, still lost, asks, "Who are you? Where are we?" She spreads her arms and replies, "I am the Empress of the Great Yang Dynasty, and from now on, you're the Prince of the Realm and my husband." Our boy just stands there, completely bewildered, looking like he got hit in the head. She clears her throat and continues, "Yep, you heard right. Some of my advisors were begging me to marry. I didn't want to be pressured by that annoying minister, so I summoned you for political cover." Our guy's eyes start to sparkle. He's practically glowing. He asks, "So you're saying, I don't have to do anything here? Just be your husband?" She shrugs, "Pretty much." And of course, the shameless rascal flops back onto the bed and invites the Empress to join him for a little quality time. But she shuts that down real quick. She explains that unfortunately, she won't be fulfilling any wifely duties, but she promises he'll never need to worry about food, clothes, or money for the rest of his life. She'll even find a way to remove the slave ring that got embedded in him during the summoning. Then she tells him to meet her in the Imperial Hall and leaves the room. Xiao Tian just sits there, stunned by her commanding presence. He looks down at the ring and thinks, this is the contract ring she mentioned. As long as I'm under its effect, I can't do anything to hurt her. That's when the long-awaited system finally appears and asks, "Would you like to activate the most powerful supreme system? Yes or no?" Our guy goes, "Wait a second. I traveled to another world, and I'm being offered an overpowered system on top of that?" Of course he says, "No." Yeah, I really thought he'd say yes too, but hey, our boy knows what he's doing. Then he starts talking. "I was adopted as an orphan when I was a kid. I had to kill and train non-stop just to survive. Because of the assassin guild I worked for, I didn't even have a say in who I took out. Wanting to be the strongest? I already walked that path. I'm done. What I want now is right here. Is there anything better than being a pampered prince with zero responsibilities?" He sits down satisfied. But then the system goes, "Because you declined, we'll now erase your memory and move on to another candidate." Xiao Tian just stares it down, and then the system starts glitching. System failure. Attempting to disconnect. System failure. Trying to forcibly bond with user. System failure. Host belongs to ultra-dimensional plane, Earth. Entering parasite mode. System failure. The system is bugging out hard, trying every trick in the book and nothing works. After 9,999 failed attempts, it gives up and pleads, "Can I at least be your assistant, please?" Our boy just stands there thinking to himself, "So now this thing won't be my system anymore, it'll be my slave? Now that, I can agree to." He decides to give the system a name, Wan Cow. Immediately, the system warns him, "Dear master, please hold your breath. Otherwise, there may be unnecessary consequences." Xiao Tian's confused, but the moment he takes a breath, the nearby plants start disintegrating. The system panics, "No, don't do that. Suppress your power." That's when he realizes he's become a bit stronger. He asks the system to explain what's going on. The system replies, "On Earth, people are bound by 490,000 dimensional rules. That's why you're so overwhelmingly powerful." Our guy asks, "So how many dimensional rules does this world have?" The system answers, 3,000, which means he's 470,000 times stronger now. Naturally, Xiao Tian wants to check out his status window. And what shows up? Turns out he has the bloodline of the ancient Chinese dragon descendants. A bloodline so rare and powerful, the system doesn't even know how strong it truly is. Big guy decides he wants to try out his power a bit, so he heads to the martial arts training hall. He spots a rack of swords and casually grabs one. "I'll test it with this," he says, but before he even finishes the sentence, the sword snaps in his hand. He mutters, "Tetch. This empress sure doesn't take good care of her weapons." The system chimes in, weapons in this world are ranked from 1 to 9. That one was ranked 6, so it was a pretty decent weapon. He grabs another more carefully this time using just his fingertip. Gives it a look and goes, "This one looks alright." As soon as he touches it, crack, shattered again. Our guy gets frustrated and chucks it aside. "Alright, message received. At the very least, I'm strong enough. Doesn't matter if the weapons are garbage. Not like I plan to kill anyone this time around anyway." He walks out of the hall. Time skips the next day. He wakes up and notices someone lying beside him. He's got very good company. Startled, he asks, "Wait, did we?" The Empress is blushing, gazing at him. Still half asleep, he cups her cheek and mumbles, "Did we actually do that?" She ignores the question completely and asks if he slept well. He replies, "I slept great, but am I in the wrong room or something?" She explains she had to stay the night so people wouldn't get suspicious. A married couple sleeping in separate rooms on their wedding night, people would talk. She gets up, elegant as ever, and says, "I'll send someone to assist you if you need anything." Then she turns around, radiant as always, and softly apologizes. "I'm sorry for summoning you here for my own benefit." Our boy is grinning from ear to ear, thinking, this woman is incredible. Not only is she majestic, but she takes care of me too. Easy life. Here I come. Night falls. We cut to the Empress asking, is the situation in the north really that bad? Her friend, a former general, answers, unfortunately, yes. The barbarians are already starting to invade, and based on our intel, the sacred barbarian will be there too. The Empress slams shut her little notebook and says, "Then I'll go take it back myself. I'll deal with that old bastard once and for all." She turns to the general and says, "In 3 days you're coming north with me." The ex-general doesn't even hesitate. She lights up. That woman loves chaos. We jump to 3 days later. The Empress is now fully armored, clearly someone who knows how to fight. Before leaving, she asks if everything's in place. The woman nods and says she assigned Lingyer to watch over him, so there's nothing to worry about. But then she turns and asks, "Why are you so concerned with that prince? He seems totally useless." The Empress replies, "Ever since he arrived, I've felt stronger somehow. Maybe he brings good luck to the Empire." And just like that, she sets off to reclaim the north. Watching her ride away is the general's daughter, Zhao Lingyer. She's the one left in charge of watching over our boy, and to say she's not thrilled about it would be an understatement. She mutters, "Why do I have to babysit this worthless prince?" Then she looks over at him. Her Majesty is amazing, so why'd she marry a weirdo like that? But just then, out of nowhere, someone snatches Xiao Tian. She doesn't even notice. And what does our boy do? Keeps calmly eating his roast chicken. He's thrown down in front of a group of shady-looking guys. One of them, wearing what looks like a half mask, turns and asks, "Are you sure this is the right guy?" That loser's the Empress's husband. Lingyer, who should be helping him, is just sitting up in a tree, watching everything, convinced he's a total idiot. As soon as the kidnappers move away a bit, she jumps down, grabs his hand, and says, "Come on, let's get out of here." But right then, he disappears. Turns out our Lingyer was fooled by an illusion item. Now she's the one trapped in a spiritual cage. The guys come back and immediately recognize her as the general's daughter. Meanwhile, our protagonist, still calmly munching on his chicken like it's just another afternoon. Linger's already drawing her sword, but the scar-faced man tells her not to bother. She demands, "Who are you?" He takes off his mask, revealing a long scar, and asks, "Do you remember me?" Cut to the next scene. She's chained up in a cave, shocked. Liang, the scared guy, is alive. Our boy chimes in cheerfully, "Oh, so you all know each other? Great. In that case, I'm heading out." But Liang puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "We're not done here." Xiaotian sighs, disappointed. "All right then, guess I'll wait." Scarface thinks to himself, at least the Empress's husband has guts. Then he hands Xiao a vial and says, "You're gonna put this in the Empress's water." Xiao takes it and casually replies, "Sure, no problem." Liang eyes him suspiciously. This is going too smoothly. He warns that's a nonverbal promise item. If you drink it and break the deal, you'll die. Before he can finish his sentence, Xiao already downs it. Then turns to him and says, "Okay, can I go now? I've got stuff to do. If I take too long, those Imperial guards are gonna start looking for me." Liang stares at the empty bottle, completely thrown off. What do I even do with a guy like this? He wonders. Our boy's sitting there like, "I did everything you asked. Just let me go already, man." Lingyer shouts at him, "You shameless traitor. How could the Empress pick someone like you?" Liang scolds her, "You're an idiot. The prince simply understands the situation better than you do. You and your mother are the only ones who can't see how desperate things are in the Yang dynasty." Then Xiao points to Lingyer and asks, "So now that I've taken the poison, can I take her with me too?" She screams, "I don't want your help." But Liang cuts in, "Sorry, can't do that. I got some unfinished business with her I need to settle." Xiao frowns, "Yeah, that's not gonna work. I'm not leaving without her." Then he says it, plain and clear. "If I have to leave here without her, it'll be because I'm dead." Liang responds, "Fine, then you'll die of poison, right here in this cave. Our boy gives him an innocent look. Don't be petty, man. I've been nothing but cooperative. Suddenly, one of the henchmen behind him snaps, charges forward, and goes to punch him. The guy's fist swings just near Xiao's hair, and Lingyer flinches. He's just a regular guy, she thinks. How's he gonna survive that? But when they look again, he's still sitting there, yawning. Both of them freeze, stunned. How is he this calm? With a serious expression, Xiao says, "Are you gonna move that hand or not?" The guy still has him by the hair. Xiao just mutters, "Don't touch my hair." Then, bam, he gives a lazy side punch. A huge explosion follows. Pretty sure the guy just got vaporized. The whole cave shakes. Our boy tilts his head, wondering why did that happen. Then throws another punch, and another. By now he's blown up 3 guys already. The masked guy falls to the floor. Xiao approaches and the guy starts begging for his life, but it's too late. With just one stare, Xiao makes him disintegrate. He literally killed the guy by looking at him. Then he turns to Lingyer. She's trembling. "Prince, please let me live. I didn't know you were like this." Xiao just grabs the chains in his hand. Snapped, she's free. She's completely stunned. How the hell did he break sacred chain formations like they were twigs? He looks at her and says, "Silly girl, why'd you think I'd hurt you? Just sit here and don't move. I'm gonna go clean up the evidence." And then he Hulk jumps into the sky. Far off in the distance, 2 mountains rise. Lingyer, smiling and dazed, mutters, "What the hell? Am I seeing things? Is that a mountain hopping around? Wait, why is a mountain heading this way?" And there he is, our Chad hero, carrying a whole mountain. He drops it behind her with a boom. Xiao walks up all carefree and says, "There, no more evidence." Lingyer just stands there, absolutely dumbfounded. "So that's how you cover up a crime, huh?" Our boy's already walking off and says, "Hey little girl, when they ask, just say you were the one who saved me, alright?" She blinks, totally confused. "Wait, what? What do you mean?" With a straight face, he looks at her and says, "Didn't your mom ever tell you to listen to what adults say?" She's still in shock but nods. "Got it. I won't tell anyone." Proud as ever, he smirks and says, "That's right. Good girl. Now let's go." He picks her up by the arm and glances to the side. Her friend is nearby, searching around. One of the guards spots them and says, "Prince, General Zhao, what are you two doing here?" Our guy's just yawning. Lingyer jumps in quickly. "I already took care of the thief. Nothing to worry about." Chochian adds, "False alarm, folks. Let's go back and get some BBQ." General Liu Yan warns him, "Prince, there are bandits in these mountains. It's not safe to stay here." He shrugs and says, "If you mean those bandits, they're all dead. This little girl here took care of them. Bunch of weaklings." One of the soldiers whispers to her friend, "Oh my god, this prince is such a moron. He's calling the great general a little girl." But Xiao and Lingyer are already walking off. Blondie, Lingyer, turns back and tells the other guards to get moving. They all stand there stunned, wondering why is the general listening to him. Cut to our protagonist roasting his little pig, happy as can be. Lingyer shows up all sweet, bringing him a little knife to carve with. She sits right beside him, just waiting for another tasty bite. The other soldiers whisper to each other, "It's over. The general's gone nuts." Xiao turns to Lingyer and asks, "Hey, do you know who those guys were that captured us?" She replies, "Their leader, the one with the scar, was Liang Shu. He was supposed to be executed a year ago." "Executed?" Xiao blinks. "For what?" "It was during my coming-of-age ceremony," she says. He raises an eyebrow. "Coming of age? Wait, how old are you?" She blushes a little. 16. Xiao stares in disbelief. 16. Talking about murder and decapitations like it's nothing. Your mom must be out of her mind. She gives a nervous laugh and nods. Then she warns him, "Now that you're with the Empress, you're going to be hunted too." One of the mounted guards says, "Prince, it'd be safer if you stayed in the palace. You'll be more protected there." He agrees immediately. "You're right. I'll just chill in the palace, eating and drinking in peace." The guards quietly wonder, is he seriously that scared of dying? Xiao's already running ahead, yelling, "Let's check out the palace." The gossip starts right behind him, some of the girls whispering that Linger's way too clingy with the prince. Is she into him or something? As they walk along the mountain path, Xiao turns to her and says, "Hey, I overheard the other girls talking about something called a blood cloud. What's that supposed to be?" Lingyer snaps, clearly annoyed. "Oh, those damn guards can't keep their mouths shut." She explains the blood cloud is a force that keeps attacking our empire. That's why everyone's forced to pay protection taxes. Xiao frowns. "Protection taxes? What do you mean?" She goes on to explain the shady deal. Corrupt politicians have been charging people for protection from the Blood Cloud tribe, but they don't actually do anything to protect them. They just pocket the money. Sounds like a classic South American politician move to me. And now, to make things worse, there's talk of removing the Empress from power because she opposes all of it, which means he, as her useless husband, is now a walking target. Xiao clenches his fist. This whole system is rigged. Then he turns to Lingyer and asks, "If the Empress finds out I'm actually strong, is she gonna make me start working?" Lingyer answers without missing a beat, "Absolutely." Xiao thinks it over. "If these guys attack the city and come after me, I'll eventually have to show what I can do. And if I don't, everyone could get wiped out. If a war breaks out because of me, she'll probably divorce me or kick me out. He scowls. No way. I'll take care of those blood cloud guys before they ruin my slacker lifestyle. Lingyer stares at him. Wait, that's what you're worried about? They keep walking through the forest and Lingyer says it's impossible to find them. They've got a fortress hidden away somewhere. Our boy, full shade mode, says relax Blondie, then casually scoots her into his arms and launches himself into the sky. Poor girl's completely stunned. Wait, he didn't use any spiritual energy for that. Meanwhile, he's flying at insane speed with her in his arms. She's screaming, totally panicked, slow down. The system chimes in, Master, you need to reduce speed immediately, or she's going to die. A bit later, he finally lands in the middle of nowhere and calmly says, we're here. Lingyer, hair all messed up and dizzy, croaks, here. Where's here? Our prince winds up his arm and punches straight into an invisible wall. Boom, shatters everything, and tada, a hidden floating base appears right in front of them. Lingyer gasps. So that's why no one could ever find it. It's a cloaked floating fortress. Our lovely protagonist marches right in and tells Lingyer to follow him. She nods and asks, so what's the plan for this secret infiltration? He shrugs. There is no secret infiltration. Next thing you know, he jumps straight to the front doors of the main hall with her. You're insane, she mutters. Inside, a tall, imposing woman notices them. A face I don't recognize, she says. Shrimp doesn't wait. An explosion goes off as he starts slicing through people left and right. Suddenly, more enemies appear behind him. And among them, Walnut Goku has entered the chat. Lingyer recognizes him right away. He's one of the top assassins from the Blood Tower. The guy looks at Xiao Tian and sneers, so the Empress's lapdog came to see me. Whoa, even Xiao didn't see that insult coming. Ruthless. The Blood Tower goons quickly start whispering plans. The Empress is off in the north. Let's send her his head. But Xiao, no fool, instantly picks up on it. They know too much. There's definitely a spy inside the city. Free Shipping Goku says, I've been dying to see the power of this so-called weakling prince. But at that very moment, he feels it. That pressure. Xiao Tian's aura towers over them, massive, suffocating. Just one cold look and half of them drop to the floor, trembling. Goku clutches his head, desperate. P-Prince. Wait, this was all just a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Xiao says calmly. I just wanted to live a peaceful, lazy life. But you sent people to hunt me down. Now I have no choice but to destroy everything. He charges up the old classic punch and boom, vaporizes the whole room. Walmart Goku, gone without a trace. The remaining survivors start panicking. Wait, who was the idiot who said this prince was weak? Xiao reaches for Linger's hand and smiles. You okay, little lady? She's standing there dumbfounded. He really has no idea how powerful he is, does he? She asks, are you seriously going to destroy the entire Blood Clan? Of course I am, he says. Next stop, their main base. I want to be home by dinner. He punches through their warehouse. TLM, gold coins everywhere. Without hesitation, he dives in like a man possessed. They ruined my nap, he mutters. This is compensation. Lingyer watches, and while she gets it, she still asks, isn't this a bit much? That money's dirty. He responds, it's the price they pay for trying to corrupt our city. You don't have a problem with that, right? She laughs nervously, and no, not at all. Then he grabs a powerful talisman from the rubble and tosses it to her. She flinches. Wait, why are you using such a high-level talisman on me? He replies, their base is super far from here. I need to go full speed, so you'll need that to survive the trip. What do you mean survive the trip? Before she can finish, he picks her up again and and they're off. Even with the talisman, she's suffering hard. It's way too fast. Seconds later, they crash land at the enemy base. Lingyer is completely wrecked. Xiao sniffs the air and immediately senses blood. 10 men surround them in an instant. A couple steps forward. Who dares set foot in our sacred base? They sneer. Lingyer freezes. Their auras are terrifying. Then an old man appears. That's him, the Lord of the Blood Tribe. Lingyer whispers, that's the one behind everything. Xiao raises an eyebrow and asks, you got beef with the Yang dynasty or something? The man scoffs, I do. But you're just the useless prince. Doesn't matter to me. Though I'll admit, breaking through our defense array means you've got something powerful, probably some rare artifact. Then, without missing a beat, he shouts, kill him. Just then, the guide, who's apparently someone else's husband, raises his hand and says, I'll take care of him myself. Lingyer turns to our protagonist, worried. Be careful. That's Skull Splitter Huan Gang. Xiao Tian squints. That name sounds like a bluff. He's already thinking. He's got to wipe everyone out. If anyone escapes, word's gonna get out that he's the real deal. Huan steps up face to face with our boy. I didn't expect the prince to have any strength, he says, but doesn't matter. Then he turns to the Blood Tribe leader. If I go all out, will you call a healer afterward? The old man replies, don't worry about holding back, just don't kill him. Huan stares Xiao down. Small, pretty face, skinny frame, long legs. So this is the kind of guy the Empress likes. Okay, Huan, you're observant, but you're giving off real specific vibes here. One of his goons warns, careful man, don't kill him in one punch. Another laughs, he's probably already peeing himself from fear. Xiao Tian calmly points at his own forehead. Hit me right here. Everyone freezes. What? RGIGACHAD adds, what, you scared? That sets Huan off. He throws a punch straight at Xiao's face. Everyone's eyes go wide. But of course our boy doesn't disappoint. He stops the punch with one finger. Xiao smirks. What's wrong, bro? You didn't eat today. Come on, put some strength into it. Huan throws another punch. Again, stopped with a single finger. Xiao just wags his finger at him. Nope, still not enough. Huan keeps swinging, fists flying, hands starting to bleed. Then Xiao lets out a flicker of aura. Wham! Huan's body slams into the wall, hand totally mangled. Xiao comments, "Gotta say, I admire your technique. You nearly killed yourself throwing punches." In the background, someone's whining, "Damn it, Intelligence Division again. Who said this guy was weak?" Our prince even feels sorry for him. Poor dude's literally crying from how badly he got beaten. But Xiao suddenly notices guys from the other towers are here too, and he's not letting anyone escape. Time to open the floodgates. Punches. 4. Everybody. The room explodes into chaos. People scream in disbelief. Is he even human? Everyone tries to flee. Some start vanishing. On the floor, a blood tower guy's muttering prayers. "Please, let just one of us escape. The world needs to know about this monster." But no chance. Xiao appears right in front of someone, gives a few slaps, and bodies start evaporating. No survivors. Then, she appears. The ultimate threat to any man. She's a total bombshell, and even she is stunned. I've never seen anyone this unmatched in martial skill. "If you spare me," she purrs, "I'll serve at your side for life." No one knows who she is, but they do know. She's the queen of seduction, and no man survives her. Cardio techniques. Except that, well, halfway through the aerobics, she eats people's hearts. So yeah, slightly dangerous. But the real issue, she's way too beautiful. Our prince might actually fall for her. But no, our boy unleashes a devastating aura and says, "You're a twisted woman with a filthy mind." She drops to her knees, sobbing, "What do you want me to do, my lord?" Xiao answers, "I don't mind you begging. But if the Empress finds out I was even near someone like you, she'll divorce me, and I'll lose my comfy lifestyle." And before she can say a word more, he punches her square in the chest. She only survives thanks to her, natural airbag system. Turning to Lingir, he says proudly, "See, I'm a loyal man. If anyone asks, make sure to tell them. Oh, and mention I was very upset about this, alright?" Lingir, totally unfazed, asks, "What are you even talking about?" He crosses his arms. "You're too young to get it. Just forget it." Lingir starts admiring him again. He's so strong and mentally unshakable. Not even she could seduce him. Then Xiao says, "Only one left." Meanwhile, hiding somewhere, the blood tribe leader is curled up thinking, who said this guy was weak? This dude's not from a normal realm. I don't even know what level he's at. He assumes Xiao must have used some rare treasure to get into the fortress. It had to be something like that, not just raw power. The old man breathes a sigh of relief, thinking the monster had finally left. But guess who appears right behind him? Yup, our boy, face to face. The old man freezes. Xiao says, "You look like a kid hiding under the bed." The guy disappears in a flash. From behind, the tribe leader laughs. "He fell into my trap. This whole place is about to blow. He'll die for sure." But the prince already grabs the blood tribe leader by the neck and says, "Where were you going? We're not done yet. Let's go back." Back at the base, he shows the guy to Lingir and goes, "Can you believe this guy was hiding under a bed?" Lingir, totally confused, asks, "Wait, isn't he the leader of the assassins?" Barely able to speak, the man gasps, "I suppressed my spiritual energy, slowed my breathing, even controlled my heartbeat. How did you find me?" Xiao Tian shrugs. "Easy. I just listened to the blood flowing through your veins." They both freeze. "You can hear that? That makes a sound?" "No way." Xiao says, "Enough. I answered your question. Now it's your turn. Why are you targeting the Empress's dynasty?" The leader starts sweating bullets. "If you promise to spare me, I'll tell you." Half a second later, the guy's already disconnected from the world of the living. Lingir just stares. Dang, he didn't even hesitate. Poor guy. "Can I go home now?" Next scene, the assassin's base is now at the bottom of a lake. How did Xiao do it? Who knows? But let's not question it. This guy's basically an Chuck Norris. He turns to Lingir. "Let's go. It's dinner time." She's smiling, totally curious. How is he this strong? But Xiao cuts her off. "Enough curiosity, Blondie." She nods nervously. Then he pats her on the head and says, "Kids just need to listen to adults. That's all." Blushing, Lingir pouts. "I'm not a kid." Xiao grins. "All right, fine. You're a grown woman now. Cool. Now let's go. I'm starving." As they walk, she keeps thinking about that fight. How did he hear the guy's blood flow? Just then, the royal guards find them. Xiao clutches his chest and says dramatically, "Thank goodness you helped me find that token. If I'd lost it, the Empress would have been devastated." Lingir side-eyes him. How does he lie so easily? Not even a blink. Meanwhile, our boy's only worried about one thing, dinner. One of the knights apologizes for not being around and leaving Lingir stuck with this idiot prince. But Lingir defends him, a little embarrassed. "Don't say that about the prince. Let him be who he is." The knight narrows her eyes, suspicious. Why is Lingir defending this guy so much? She warns, "Be careful. These blood tribe bastards are reckless. I don't care if something happens to the prince, but I don't want you ending up like my husband." Lingir softly replies, "Your husband was a hero. If he hadn't faced the blood tribe alone, he might have survived." The knight starts tearing up. "It's fine. The blood tribe will disappear soon." Shows off to the side, thinking, Guess I did something good today, huh? Hope that guy rests in peace. The guards are all giving him weird looks. What's wrong with this prince? Is he nuts? Next morning, Linger's rushing out of the house. Her dad calls out, "Why the rush?" "I'm going to the palace to carry out my duty," she shouts back. He notices her outfit. "What are you wearing?" Blushing, she explains, "I'm going to the palace to take care of the prince. The empress asked me to." He snaps. There are guards at the palace. "You don't need to babysit that lazy bum who only thinks about pleasure." Linger fires back, "You've never even met the prince. Stop judging him." Before he can react, she's already out the door. He stands there stunned. Yesterday morning, she hated being assigned to watch over him. Now she woke up early and even got dressed up to see him. Something's not right. Cut to the palace. And look at our hero, chilling in the courtyard, surrounded by ladies pampering him. He's got snacks being fed into his mouth while he watches anime on his system. Truly, a difficult life. The knights nearby are fuming. The empress is off fighting a war in the north, and this guy's living like he's retired. Sho's just lying there thinking, retired life's the best life. But then, one knight suddenly freezes. "Major General? Whoa, she came dressed like that today." Everyone's stunned. Nobody's ever seen the general dressed like this. Our boy looks up. "Oh hey, what are you doing here, little miss?" Awkwardly, she replies, "The empress told me to look after you. I'm just doing my job." Annoyed, he waves her off. "Go away. You're ruining my vibe. I don't need protection." He's nervous she might slip up and expose that he's actually powerful. And if that happens, he'll have to start working. The knights are standing there thinking, this prince is messing around with the major now. He's out of his mind. But she steps forward and says, "I'm not leaving. I'm staying here with you." That's in direct order from the empress. I'm not disobeying it. One of the guards behind her is panicking. "Oh no, someone broke her mentally. I've got to report this to the general." This prince, I mean, he's kind of cute, sure, but what's happening here? First he wins over the empress and now the major too. Meanwhile, our boy is just chilling, totally unbothered. A while later, one of the knights comes rushing in. We just saw an island falling from the sky. The skeptical warrior, who didn't believe in our protagonist, starts to wonder, could it have been the Blood Tribe's base? Is that why no one ever found it? Linger walks over asking, "What's going on?" The woman answers, "Major General, it looks like one of the Blood Tribe's bases has collapsed." She just goes, "Oh, okay." And the girls all look at each other like, "Wait, what? That's your reaction?" "Major, are you shocked?" Realizing her slip, Linger quickly fakes it. "Oh, my goodness, no way, the base fell. Who could have done such a thing?" Meanwhile, our prince is slicing into a watermelon thinking, she's so bad at lying. No one's buying that. One of the knights looks confused. "I mean, it's good news, but I still don't get it." Linger asks her, "Why aren't you happy? Isn't this vengeance for your husband?" The knight sighs, "I'm just worried. Sure, one of their bases was destroyed, but it crashed in our territory. What if the leader of their main base comes here? What if the king of assassins shows up?" Xiao and Linger are giggling in the corner. Now the knight is completely lost. Why are they laughing? This is serious. She snaps, "Major, why are you laughing? This is a life or death situation for the dynasty. Are you only thinking about the prince now?" Linger's caught off guard. What are you talking about?" She's about to explain when Xiao suddenly smacks her lightly on the back of the head. "I heard everything from back there. You're grinning while we're facing a national crisis? You better start taking this seriously." Embarrassed, Linger mumbles that she almost let his secret slip. The knight is frozen, stunned that she just saw Linger get whacked by the prince. Xiao rests a hand on her shoulder and says, "Commander Liu, the Yan dynasty is prosperous. No matter how tough things get, we'll overcome it. So don't worry too much." The knight opens her mouth to speak, but he cuts her off. "I still have to teach her a few things. So go back to your duties." He gives her a look. "You heard me. Back to work." Then walks off with Linger and Tao. The knights are standing there in disbelief. What's happening with the major? She's following orders from him. She's only known him for, 2 days? One of them mutters, "This is way worse than I thought. We need to report this to the Grand General fast." Cut to Xiao and Linger on a bridge. Here comes the lecture. He tells her she doesn't get it. He just wants to relax. So she needs to be smarter, keep her mouth shut, and stop saying dumb things. Linger, all embarrassed, says, "Sorry, I won't do it again." He responds, "Sorry doesn't fix anything. Quit acting like an idiot." She lets out a little sigh, then drops to her knees. "Please, let me be your disciple. I want to be as strong as you one day." But Xiao turns his back to her, already raising a hand like he's waving goodbye. "I don't even know how I got this strong." She gasps. "What do you mean? You're insanely powerful. How can you not know how to train?" She jumps in front of him. "I'm an adult. Please, teach me. I'm not a kid." But he calmly says, "I'm not lying. There's nothing I can teach you," and walks away. The system pings. He calls for one of his ladies to feed him. Chapter end. Half a month later, our boy is just vibing up in the mountains, roasting himself a little pig and enjoying life. Just then, a young warrior comes running in to report. It's confirmed. The Blood Tribe's main base was destroyed by that mysterious man. Skull Splitter, the Seduction Queen, even the Grand Chief. All their bodies were found. The general clenches her jaw. "I spent the whole month stressed, thinking they'd attack us at any moment, but they're already gone." A little later, she's seen holding her husband's soul crystal. and breaks into tears. She's smiling through the crying. Finally, someone avenged him. Linear turns to our protagonist and thanks him again. He shrugs. It wasn't me, probably someone else. If you want to show gratitude, how about you go cut up this meat for me? With a pouty face, she grabs the little knife and starts slicing it up like a good assistant. But our boy just throws a glance at the general in the distance, watching her cry. Scene cut. Somewhere in the middle of nowhere, a portal opens. Two shady guys step out. Boss, is this the Yan dynasty? One of them asks. Yeah, a boss nods. They say someone here destroyed the Blood Tribe's main base. We came to find out who. Far as we know, no one in this land should be that strong. So we're gonna do some digging. Scene shift. Northern border. The general and the empress are there standing tall. And let's just say, they're geared up for war. At that moment, a messenger arrives with a letter from the imperial city. Because it came by courier, the news is late. Only now are they learning that the Blood Tribe's first base fell. But the empress notices a side note in the letter. Apparently, Linear has been dressing extra carefully every day and refuses to leave Xiao Tian's side. The empress pauses. I didn't think he had that kind of charm. A tiny version of her pops up in her own head, thinking, well, he is kinda cute. No, doesn't matter how cute he is, he can't be doing that. Meanwhile, the Grand General is fuming. She's Linear's mother and says, I won't let this slide. My daughter is flirting with the Empress's prince. But right then, a bunch of barbarians appear on the horizon, led by some creepy old summoner. The general grits her teeth. I'll deal with them. Empress, you handle the old man. And the battle breaks out. Magic's flying, weapons clashing, chaos all around. The Empress leaps toward the summoner. So you've chosen death, she says coldly. The old man replies, sadly, I'm just here to bring more prosperity to the barbarians. She shakes her head. What a shame. You'll bring about their end. She slices at him. You never should have left your city. Without the great blessing, you're no match for me. The old man backs up, starting to realize she really is as strong as they say. But then he starts casting a bizarre spell on a skull, sealing some kind of power inside it. The Empress narrows her eyes. That power, if it's sealed, you can't use it. So what's the point? He smirks. I've already been paid by the Palace of the Black Soul. As long as I hold you here, the Swamp Elder should already be arriving in your dynasty. Too bad. The whole Yan capital will be ashes by morning. Below, the general is overwhelmed by waves of barbarians. The Empress shouts, don't come up here, just hold the wall. She starts powering up Dragon Ball style, trying to break free from the seal. The summoner chuckles, truly worthy of your title, Empress. Even now, you don't give in to fear. But it won't matter. Your city is doomed. Scene shift. Back to our boy, happily strolling through the forest, belly full. But of course, he's already thinking about more food. Simon, man, you're gonna turn into Majin Buu at this rate. The girls look at him puzzled. Didn't you just eat? I digest fast, he says, always ready for another meal. He glances toward the horizon, scanning for the next snack stop. Hey, gasped Linear. Where's your general friend? The one who's always hanging around. She went to get some wine for you, your highness. He raises an eyebrow. She went to that city? The one her husband defended? Linear nods. She made the decision on her own. I hope you won't be mad. Xiao waves it off. I'm not that cruel. Then he adds, if the city's got good wine, they probably have good food too. Let's head there. But you girls stay behind, he says. If she comes back with the wine and finds no one here, she'll freak out. The knights immediately object. No way. Our mission is to protect you. The prince waves them off. No need. I've got this little girl here protecting me. He turns his back on everyone. Adios. Scene shift. In the city, a poor soul is getting beaten down. She's holding her ground against 200 attackers. They came to strike the Yan dynasty. She immediately understands. The Hall of the Black Soul is working with the barbarian kingdom to bring us down. The old man from the Black Soul Hall and his disciple just stand there watching. The elder ignores her and says to his disciple, finish this. We need to begin the blood sacrifice collection in the city. The disciple licks his lips. Relax, master. I'll end her in one strike. He draws his sword. I'll give her a quick, painless death. He's already aiming for her neck. But in the last second, she manages to block. They're both thrown back. The guy charges again, stomps on her shoulder. Say goodbye. The sword comes down. This is it. The warrior thinks of her husband. I will never betray the empire. And then, snap. The guy goes flying like a ragdoll. What just happened? She's standing there, eyes closed, wondering why the final blow never came. And then she hears, what do you think you're doing to my guard? She opens her eyes, totally confused. Prince, what are you doing here? Ignoring her, Xiao turns to Linear. Take this freak out. Without hesitation, she lunges in, vertical slash. The warrior just stares. For a second, I thought the prince saved me. But of course, it was the general. Xiao grins. Where'd you go and get some wine? Why are you out here dying, woman? He grabs her chin gently and pulls out some pills from the system. Rewards from wiping out that previous organization. Eat this. She's stunned. Maybe this prince isn't so bad after all. That's number 5, folks. One more heart fallen for our boy. She tells him, this guy's from the Dark Soul Hall. He's the Poison Elder. You need to get out of here. He'll kill you. Xiao asks the system, is this guy strong? The system answers, extremely. He's mastered countless poisons. Xiao frowns. but they all look the same strength to me. System replies, that's because to you, everyone is weak. There's no visible difference anymore. And now, oh, System drops the real news. That guy's at the 8th level of awakening. Linger's only at level 3. That means she's going to lose. But right behind him, the general. If Xiao does anything serious now, she'll see how strong he really is. And that means she'll tell the Empress. And then he'll have to work. This poor lazy genius is doing mental gymnastics just to stay unemployed. The general steps forward. Prince, don't worry. I won't let you die. Xiao's inner thoughts. Poor thing. I'd love to smack him so hard he vanishes from this world. He says out loud, you just took the pill. You sure you want to die already? She glances down, her arms fully healed. All her wounds are gone. He gave me such expensive medicine. She picks up a fallen sword. I'll help. Even if we just buy time, the Empress might get here and avenge us all. But then, Linger's aura spikes. She awakens sword intent. Xiao turns to the general. That good? She nods, stunned. With sword intent, she can't lose. The disciple is furious. How did she awaken sword intent already? He rushes her, slashing wildly. But she dodges easily. Your sword technique is trash. This is my chance. Slash. Right through the chest. The guy drops to the ground. Linger snarls. How does trash like you have the guts to pick a fight? Pay for it with your life. She raises her blade, but suddenly a purple magic circle lights up, blocking the attack. A dark mist erupts, poison gas. 2 massive snakes burst out of it. Linger stumbles back, dropping her sword. She's already being poisoned. Good thing she managed to escape in time. The old man chuckles. You're quite bold, dropping your sword instead of taking the chance to run. Too bad you're stuck here, protecting this useless prince. The guy only made it in life because of his pretty face. Linger is already smiling to herself. Poor fools, they have no idea how terrifying the prince actually is. But wait, does the prince want to fight? Pulling off an Oscar-worthy performance, Xiao Tian steps forward and says, hold on, old man. I know who you are and what you're capable of. I'm willing to tell you all the Empress's secrets. I just want to live. The general gasps, Your Highness, what are you doing? But Linger grabs her arm and whispers, don't worry. The prince knows exactly what he's doing. There are things I can't tell you yet. The guard is thinking, and it should become so irrational. The old man pauses. Secrets about the Empress, you say. If the secret's worth it, I'll let you live. Xiao nods. Fine, but let them go first. Even if I don't survive, at least 2 people will be safe. The general's taken aback. Wait, he's trying to protect us first? She steps up. Your Excellency, it's our duty to protect you. Tell me the secret. I'll stay and you leave. Xiao keeps acting. I'm afraid to die and that's why I'm snitching. You're not. You'll keep your mouth shut. In his head. Come on, woman, just follow the script and go already. But the old man refuses. The only way this works is if you tell me the secret right now. If I like it, everyone lives. Linear face bombs. The general's getting mad. Meanwhile, Xiao's smiling like a clown. Suddenly, he lets out a burst of aura. The old man's stunned. The ground cracks open. Mountains split in 2. The geezer falls flat on his back, terrified. Xiao shuts off the aura and walks up slowly. You're not getting it, are you? I don't want to show my power. Is that a problem? The old man just stares. Out of nowhere, Xiao slaps him across the face. Answer me. The elder starts trembling. Sorry, Lord. Xiao snaps. I'm in my 20s. I'm not a lord. Smack. Another slap. Okay, now I feel bad. Poor grandpa's getting bullied. The old man lowers his head. I apologize, my lord. Xiao cups his ear. Didn't hear that. Louder. The guy screams, my lord. Smack, smack. 2 more slaps. Xiao. So now yelling is the same as speaking louder? Is that it? Honestly, at this point, I think he just likes slapping this dude. The general is frozen, completely stunned. Why isn't the old man fighting back? Linger leans in and whispers, the prince really is strong, but the Empress can't find out, okay. The general immediately gets it. That explains everything. That's why she's acting so different now. Xiao Tian is powerful. The guard asks, so, the day at the Blood Tower. Linger nods. Exactly. That mysterious man who destroyed the Blood Tower, that was him. The general stares at Shadow in total disbelief. Then she notices something strange happening underneath the old man. She shouts, move, get away from there. But the old man smirks. Too late. A swamp of poison spreads under him. Goodbye, prince. This is my swamp. I spent years creating it. You'll burn here for eternity. This magic cost me 30 years of my life. But now, you'll die. First, your flesh will melt. Then your bones will crumble into ash. You'll suffer, slowly. The deeper you sink, the worse it gets. The old man's gone full Joker mode now. Even the strongest of the strong can't survive this. The guard panics. General, we have to save him. But Linger stops her. No, you don't get it. Stay out of his way. He's far stronger than you think. The guard is still unsure, until, boom. Xiao Tian casually walks out of the swamp totally fine. Woo, this is great, he says. You burned 30 years of your life just to give me a spa exfoliation. This was supposed to be corrosive. Come on. He glances over, sees the old man's disciple still there. The guy collapses in fear. Don't come near me. Xiao grabs him by the collar. I think you need some skincare too. The guy pulls a knife, goes to stab him in the face. The blade shatters. He stares, stunned. What? Why did it break? Xiao just shrugs. Yeet throws him into the swamp. The guy starts dissolving immediately. Xiao tilts his head. Huh. So it really was corrosive. Not bad. Still calm, he scoops some of the poison up and makes a face mask with it. The old man can only point at him, confused beyond reason. Xiao turns to Lingyer. Well, what do you think, little lady? Do I look a bit younger? She deadpans. Prince, why are you worried about your looks right now? He grins. Ah, girl, you don't understand anything. I have to look extra good to seduce the Empress. Smiling, he turns back to the old man. By the way, how many years of life do you have left? The elder blinks, confused. Yuko, what do you mean? Smiling from ear to ear, he says how much he enjoyed that exfoliant, then asks the old man how much more of it he can make. If I give you an item that extends your life, could you produce more of this stuff? The old man just keeps trembling, pointing at him while calling him a monster. Then he says, a scholar like me can be killed, but never dishonored. He slaps his own head and takes his own life. Our boy scratches his head, totally confused. Why did he kill himself? The girls are standing there in disbelief. The prince turns to them and says, I was being so honest with him. Was all that really necessary? They all have that classic blank face. No, it really wasn't. Lingyer says they better destroy the body, just to make sure no one finds out what happened. The other guard agrees, adding that they especially need to get rid of the poison swamp. Unfortunately, when the prince released his aura earlier, he split the mountains in half. So yeah, covering the tracks is going to be tricky. Xiaotian asks, Lingyer, if we keep walking this way, we're headed toward the Great Yan Dynasty, right? She nods. Yes. Why, your highness? What do you want to do? I just want to destroy the corpses like you asked. Thude. He throws a punch. They close their eyes. Oh, then he just blows some air from his mouth. Boom. Tornado. Your highness, they ask, was all that really necessary? Xiao shrugs. Well, now that everything's completely changed, I'm pretty sure no trace is left. He erased entire mountains, leveled the entire battlefield, left behind nothing but a flat plain. The general says, Prince, you can't just go changing the whole world. He replies, no one's going to miss those mountains anyway. At least the poison swamp's buried now. They're standing there, hands on their faces like, Prince, that's not how this works. Then suddenly, he jumps a bit. He forgot. There's a city right next door. They're probably not gonna miss those mountains, right? The guard tells him it's fine. There's a protective barrier around the city. No one can really see what's going on outside. He sighs in relief. Good. For a second, I thought my lazy life was over. He waves goodbye to the guard. I'm heading back. Don't forget the wine, okay? She watches him go. This prince really is one of a kind. With that much power, all he cares about is keeping up the image of being useless. And she touches the shoulder of an illusion of her husband, who honestly looks quite a bit like Xiao Tian. Scene change inside the city. People are running around in a panic. The enemies from the Dark Soul Hall are coming. But then they stop and look around. Wait, where are the mountains? Weren't there mountains here? The guard arrives. Mayor, everything's fine now. You can go back. The mayor walks away, scratching his head. Huh, I swear there were mountains right there. On the way home, Lingyer won't stop talking about everything the prince has done. She even mentions that he was able to hear blood flowing through a man's body. The general raises an eyebrow. Wait, if he has hearing like that, you think he didn't hear us talking behind his back? Xiao Tian chimes in. Of course I heard you. Always saying I seduced her majesty with my manly charms, and that even though I already had a whole bucket, I still wanted a scoop from the pot, clearly implying I have the Empress, but I'm after Lingyer too. Lingyer drops to her knees. I'm sorry, it'll never happen again. He laughs. It's fine. I don't really care about that stuff. Then Lingyer blinks. Wait, my own guard was gossiping about me in my own house. The guard freezes. Oh no, she just remembered she sent that message. Scene shift. Lingyer's house. Our boy's there. All right, go home now. She pouts. I don't want to. I want to have dinner with you. Xiao groans. No, enough. You've been eating dinner at the palace every day. Your dad yells at me every night, and I'm done with that. The guard mutters, honestly, the prince's hearing is something else. Lingyer walks up all sweet. Come on, your excellency. Let me hang out at the palace, please. Don't be so boring. Xiao pulls his arm away. Stop following me. And you really need to learn to appreciate your father. I didn't have a mom or dad when I was your age. I was adopted. Had to learn to wield a weapon early on. He pats her gently on the back like she's a kid. You don't realize how blessed you are. Both of them are caught off guard. Then he turns around, raises a hand, and says, good night. The prince is off. Lingyer stands there awkwardly. All right, I'll go home then. But Xiao doubles back and gives her a little pat on the head. With a warm smile, he says, good girl, now go home. Just then, her father shows up. What are you doing? He asks. Prince, you're Her Majesty's husband. How can you be getting handsy with other women like this? The guard steps in right away. Sir John, the prince, and the general are completely innocent. How dare you throw around such filthy accusations? Feeling awkward, the man stammers. No, that's not what I mean. Another woman chimes in. Sir John, you're married to the Grand General. You hold a high position. You shouldn't be accusing the prince like that. All right, He's married to that muscle-bound warrior woman fighting alongside the Empress up north. The man's completely crushed now. He's starting to think the guard's probably fallen under Xiao Tian's charm too. The general speaks up. I think you're misunderstanding the situation. All I'm saying is it's not right to judge the prince that way. Lingyer adds, for your information, the prince was actually convincing me to stay home and spend more time with you. He's all hunched over trying to explain. No, sweetie, that's not what I meant. Our boy waves him off. Well, this is a family matter, isn't it, Mr. Zhang? I'll leave you to it. Oof. And Lingyer and the guard both leave with him. Poor Mr. Zhang's just left standing there. What in the world is going on? The issue with the southern refugees still isn't resolved, and now his daughter's acting like this. But before he can blink, all three of them are back staring him down. Next thing you know, he's putting together a feast for our guy. Lingyer explains, my dad's always been like this. He was never a great martial artist, so he used this kind of sneaky charm to win over my mom. He's the best cook in the entire kingdom. The old man flicks her on the head. How dare you talk about your father like that? He glances at Xiao Tian and thinks, why is my daughter so nervous around this prince? You know what? I'm better off not asking. He raises a glass. This wine is in honor of your highness. Please accept my apology for the things I said earlier. My Linger's a handful and lately she's been bothering you quite a bit. Xiao Tian brushes it off. It's fine. Let's eat. He gives the old man a thumbs up. Your food really is incredible. Now that's the life. He just keeps on eating. Mr. Zhang is sitting there thinking, no one would ever guess this skinny prince had such an appetite. Xiao Tian suddenly looks at him and the man quickly tries to act normal. Prince, if there's something on your mind, don't hold back. Please speak freely. Our guy says, well, Mr. Zhang, I do have one request. Go ahead, your highness. Would it be alright if I came over more often to eat and drink here? Your cooking is just too good. Zhang's thinking, this brat, I only cooked this to apologize and now he wants me, a government minister, to become his personal chef. No way. Then Xiao Tian slams his hand on the table and tosses out a ring. Inside, 1 million spirit stones. To help with the refugee crisis in the south, Mr. Zhang's entire attitude flips. Prince, what would you like to eat tomorrow? Just tell me. I'll take the ingredients right away. Boom. He points at his daughter. You're buying me a chef's uniform tomorrow. Got it? The women are standing there baffled. What just happened? Zhang is thinking, my biggest problem was the refugee issue. With this kind of money, I can solve that immediately. Sure, I'll become a chef. Why not? He picks up the spirit stones, turning them over in his hands. Are you sure it's safe to use these? He's starting to suspect Xiao Tian stole them from the Empress. The prince replies, relax. That was payment from someone who insulted me. Zhang raises an eyebrow. Someone insulted you and had this much money? Xiao just shrugs. It's all in the past. Then he leans in and whispers, just don't let Her Majesty find out about this, all right? Zhang nods. Understood. I'll keep this secret, no problem. Woo, what a relief. You have any idea how hard it was to get that money? Now the old man's thinking Xiao Tian was tortured and ransomed or something. Great prince, you suffered so much for this empire. I'm truly grateful for your dedication. Xiao replies, if you really want to thank me, cook more delicious meals. Of course, of course. Anyway, the prince says, now that that's settled, I want to know what you plan to do with the funds. Zhang says he's going to buy food and build housing for the homeless refugees. But the prince cuts in, that's not worth it. You'll spend a ton and it won't last. Why don't you use the money to create jobs? Zhang is confused. What exactly do you mean? Xiao explains, these refugee gangs have everything except one thing, structure. So hire them, give them real work. Put all those gang members to work repairing bridges, fixing roads, restoring farms, and while they're at it, they feed themselves. You solve 2 problems with 1 solution. Why not do that? Plus, it'll split up the gangs and weaken their influence. Zhang sits back impressed. That's actually a brilliant idea, Prince. Whatever you feel like eating, just let me know, Zhang says. I'll go ahead and get this plan moving. Our boy leans back, satisfied. Now that's what I like to hear. 3 days later, back on the barbarian front, the Empress is still deep in cultivation. But the barbarian elder notices she's about to break through to the next level and instantly decides to run. But it's too late. She opens her eyes mid-breakthrough. A burst of energy erupts around her. She's full on Dragon Ball Z now. If you can run faster than my blade, then go ahead and try, she says. And boom, she sends a massive slash through the battlefield. Heads are flying. The old man senses something coming. He turns. Too slow. Her sword cuts through the air, slams him into a rock, completely wrecked. Now he realizes, now that she's ascended, there's no way out of this. She returns to the wall and tells the general, we need to head back urgently. There's someone attacking our city. Grabs her by the arm and off they go. The general says they don't need to rush so much. The city's protected by a barrier after all. But the Empress shakes her head. That poison elder is extremely dangerous. If I hadn't broken through today, I wouldn't stand a chance. All we can hope for is that our people didn't suffer too badly. On the way back, the Empress glances around. General, wasn't there supposed to be 2 mountains here? Or am I mistaken? The general looks confused. Actually, there used to be 3. Where did they go? Looking around, the Empress notices that the terrain is completely flat. Whoever did this leveled everything with a single attack, she says. The general's stunned with one strike. Your Majesty, you're at the 9th level. Can you compare yourself to someone capable of this? The Empress answers calmly, you might have the wrong impression of me. I don't even know how strong the person who did this is, let alone what it'd be like to fight them. As they arrive at the city, the Empress walks in gracefully, veil and all, looking stunning. She says she's not too concerned about Linger spending time with the prince. As long as she's protecting him, that's enough. But then she spots Xiao Tian getting doted on by the 2 girls. Linger's offering him some buns. The guard's holding up a cup of wine to his lips. Right away, Xiao Tian senses a deadly aura behind him. He turns his head, and there she is, his wife. The general points at Linger. Looks like I didn't beat you enough last time. Are you asking for another spanking? Linger panics. Crap, Mom got back way too soon. What do I do? That's when the guard blurts out, wait, I sent her a message about you and the prince. Our boy's already shouting, are you trying to get me killed? General Song's glaring like she's about to drop-kick her daughter. Linger instantly hides behind the prince. Please, just cover for me a little. With Her Majesty here, she won't dare hit you. But General Song steps right up to him, blocking out the sun like a wall of muscle. Xiao's thinking, it's like a mountain just materialized in front of me. She says, step aside, I need to have a chat with my daughter. He stares up at this 2-meter-tall beast of a woman, her veins bulging like King Kong's arms. General Song, he says calmly, publicly beating your daughter might have long-term effects on her development. She's glaring with a terrifying expression. Prince, I'm being nice to you only because of the Empress. Move. Linger throws herself to the ground. Please hit me, not the prince. The guard jumps in. Yeah, please don't hit him. The general's stunned. What the hell is wrong with you two? I would never lay a hand on the Empress's man. Suddenly, people from the city start showing up, asking what's going on. Xiao Qian tries to calm them. Don't worry, everything's fine. One guy says, Prince, don't forget the banquet later. Got it. See you all there. The general is sweating now. Why do all the townspeople seem to like this guy so much? Our boy turns and looks at the Empress thinking, damn, my wife really is the most beautiful, graceful, and sexy woman alive. She glances his way and catches him drooling. This prince is too much. Curious, she asks. Prince, what exactly did you do to get the city folks to treat you so well? He looks away embarrassed, unsure what to say. Scene shifts. They're walking through town. Well, he says, I just threw some money around to build a few roads. Nothing major. The Empress raises an eyebrow. And where did you get that money? Last I checked, you aren't exactly wealthy. He grins. Marrying you has its perks, doesn't it? As the prince, people are generous. I've been accepting a few gifts here and there, no big deal. She looks confused but doesn't question it too hard. I guess there are a lot of rich people in my empire. Meanwhile, the general is thinking, this prince really is clueless. Why do people like him so much? And then Linger opens her mouth and ruins everything. It's because the prince actually made everyone's lives better day by day. The Empress and general glance at each other. What is she even saying? Linger goes on, like the wine we used to sell in town. It was awful. So they started importing wine from the southern city and gave it a new name, the Empress's Grand Reserve, with backing from Minister Zhang, you know, the food guy, and the prince's name stamped on the label. Everyone wanted a bottle. Now it's the most popular drink in town. Our boy walks up to the Empress and apologizes for using her name without permission. But since nobody believes in his strength, he had to rely on her reputation. The other two ladies are just standing there with those classic sure right faces, thinking, of course, Prince, you're totally weak. Aha. But the Empress turns to him and says, you're my man, my prince. No one in this entire country has the right to call you useless. If I ever hear anyone speak badly of you, I'll cut them down myself. Our boy's got this mischievous little grin now. He's loving it. He thanks her, saying, you really are the best wife in the world. She tells him he's way too easy to fool, and she doesn't like that kind of smooth talk. But under the veil, she's clearly smiling. The general chimes in, Prince, Her Majesty has been strong ever since she was a child. She has a powerful heart. Those little flirty tricks that work on other girls won't work on her, you understand. But our boy, having seen that secret smile, is thinking, maybe my Empress really is proud and closed off on the outside. But deep down, I know she enjoyed that. He turns to Linger. Your mom doesn't get it at all. Then the general says to the Empress, come on, let's go eat. My husband should have made something for us by now. The Empress lights up. I can't wait. He always makes the best food for me. They head home. Our boy notices the Empress seems stronger than before. He asks the system, what's her current strength level? The system responds, she's already reached the 9th realm. He thinks. So she left to deal with the northern threat, leveled up, and made it back before dinner? My wife is seriously the best. At the door, the aroma is amazing. The general brags, my husband always knows when I'm on my way home. I'm sure he made this meal with lots of love for me. Linger is sweating bullets. Let's just hope she never finds out it's all for the prince. Inside, Zhang hears someone at the door, and without even turning around says, Brother Zhao, you're lucky today. I cooked all your favorite dishes. And of course, I stocked up on the Empress's wine. We're getting drunk tonight. The general's standing at the door thinking, hold up, why is he saying it's for the prince and not for me? That's when he finally turns around and sees his wife and the Empress. Oh, my dear wife, your Majesty. Welcome. The Empress smiles. Just like old times. You always made meals for us. Zhang's all giddy like a kid. Wait right here. I'll get more bowls. We're all eating together. The two women just stare at the prince like, what happened these past few days? Our boy, meanwhile, is panicking. If the Empress finds out I gave him those ideas, she might ask me to help govern the city. No way. That's not happening. Later, everyone's eating. The general says, my husband really went all out today. The Empress picks up her cup. This is that wine I heard about, isn't it? Zhang nods. Yes, your majesty. The one we created here. She takes a sip. This is wonderful. So the success wasn't just from using my name. The wine itself is excellent. And of course, here comes Zhang, spilling everything our boy didn't want him to say. Yes, your majesty. The prince didn't just help with the wine. He invested in infrastructure, built new roads and bridges, helped create jobs, and gave Qingyang a complete makeover. He even took the initiative to pay extra taxes just to set a good example for the other merchants. Our boy has his hand over his face, begging for someone to just knock Zhang out cold. If this keeps going, I'm gonna lose my comfy, lazy life. Zhang glances at him and says, I haven't even started the real praise yet. Your majesty, it's honestly hard to explain how exceptional your husband is. Our boy snaps. Would you shut up already? But Zhang keeps going. And as for the refugee crisis in the south, the prince gave us key suggestions and even donated his own money. He's sweating now, not knowing where to look, while the Empress has this tiny, proud little smile on her face. Poor Zhang. If our boy could unplug him from the server right now, he would. Meanwhile, Zhang's winking at the prince like he's helping. Our boy's got his face buried in his hands, practically crying. He's even gone pale from secondhand embarrassment. And then the Empress says, if you're this capable, why do you keep calling yourself useless? He thinks to himself, because I just want to be lazy, and immediately imagines the Empress whipping him and ordering him to get to work. Then he gives a look that says he's happy on the outside of it, thinking, you damn show-off. You should be ashamed of ruining my plans. The Empress says, I didn't expect you to know how to make wine. The protagonist replies, well, I know a little. When it comes to eating, drinking, and enjoying life, I'm pretty much the best around. The Empress teases, not many people get compliments from Mr. Zhang. Why do you look so nervous? You're scared I'll assign you an official post and make you work hard, huh? He freezes, thinking she figured out his entire plan in 10 seconds flat. But then she says, don't worry. I promised you'd live a peaceful and prosperous life without lifting a finger, and I intend to keep that promise. After all, I summoned you here without permission. It's the least I can do. Our boy thinks, this woman, she really knows how to get under my skin. She goes on, and if anyone dares call you useless again, I'll have no problem turning into a tyrant and cutting them down. Now he's daydreaming about sitting on her lap, thanking her for being so caring and indulgent. She asks him, and about that old poison master who showed up. I heard you were the one standing at the city gates. I want all the details. Sometime after telling the whole story, the general suddenly stands up. What? With one punch? Who is this man that's strong? The guard backs him up. The man left behind the name Yan. He's also the one who wiped out the entire blood tribe. The Empress, stunned, asks, is that true? The guard confirms, of course, your majesty. You know how much I hated those bastards. I'd never lie about something like this. The Empress says she'd love to meet the man and thank him personally. He just solved one of the Empire's biggest problems. Mr. Zhang adds, the Temple of the Dark Soul and the Blood Cloud Society have been harassing the Empire for a long time. It's a blessing that someone like him exists now. The two women raise their glasses in celebration. Finally, someone strong enough to put an end to all that chaos. Mr. Zhang shifts the topic and asks, your majesty, will you be attending court? She says yes, it's part of my role as Empress. He advises her, then you should probably protect the prince while you're there. Now that the northern campaign is over, you can't put it off anymore. According to the laws of the Yan dynasty, the prince must appear before all the ministers in court. Our boy is completely lost. Nobody ever told me about this. The chef explains, it's the rule, your highness. Once the Empress marries, the prince must meet with the officials alongside her. Kotian looks at the Empress, unsure. Is that going to cause a problem? Zhang nudges her. Your majesty, why don't you tell him? She sighs. I owe you an explanation. Marrying you wasn't just about having a human shield. I hope what I'm about to say doesn't upset you. Our protagonist responds, come on, someone like me is always ready for the worst. She explains the issue. The prime minister, who helped her seize the throne, has a son, and he's been pressing her to marry him for years. As Empress, she's expected to produce heirs for the nation. So the prime minister's been pushing for a political marriage. But instead of giving in, she spent years delaying until she learned the summoning technique. And that's when she brought him into this world. The protagonist goes quiet. He clearly doesn't like the thought of the Empress being forced to marry someone else. She assumes he's scared. I'm a little afraid of the prime minister too, she admits. But as long as we follow protocol, things should be fine. And if not, I'll protect you. Or maybe we'll find some other way around it. He lifts his cup with a sly grin and says, well, I'll go. You're gonna protect me in court, right? That guy's not gonna kill me in there, is he? Linger and the guard are watching nervously, thinking, if the prime minister loses it and pushes the prince, what'll happen? The Empress frowns. You don't have to go. Maybe it really is too risky. I can't fully gauge his strength, and I don't want to face him unless I absolutely have to. Mr. Zhang says, Your Majesty, I believe in the prince, even if he comes off a little silly at times and seems mostly interested in pleasure. And yes, he's extremely lazy. That doesn't necessarily mean he'll struggle, right? I was standing there, unsure if that was meant to be a compliment or an insult. Honestly, even I'm not sure. The two women reassure the Empress to relax. They're confident the prince won't have any trouble. The Empress starts to notice just how much these two trust him. Linger adds, It's because of what my father said. The prince isn't someone you can deal with easily. The general agrees. Well, if everyone's on board, maybe it really is the right time to confront the Prime Minister. The Empress still looks a little uneasy, but our boy meets her gaze and says, I believe in you. She asks him softly, You're not afraid? Our guy, smooth as ever, replies, My wife is the most beautiful and intelligent woman in the entire dynasty, the most magnificent ruler in the world. What could I possibly be afraid of? She stands up quietly, no sass this time. And I think I just figured out where those mountains the prince yeeted into oblivion ended up. She excuses herself. Well, if you insist, I won't say anything else. She heads off to finish some paperwork and then back to the palace. Our boy's just sitting there thinking, flirting with her is the best. Cut to the next scene, he's walking home as usual with the two crazy girls tagging along. But he notices they're being followed. The guy's so clumsy, it's almost cute. Could he be one of the Prime Minister's spies? Without hesitation, the proto reaches for his wrist and takes off his contract ring. The girls freeze. Wait, that's the super powerful contract ring used to control people summoned from other worlds, right? It has all those rules and bindings. Linger, clearly panicking. Your Excellency, what are you doing? He replies, I've been wearing it on the same wrist for too long. Starts to ache. So I switch sides from time to time. She's stunned, but that's not what she was asking. The guard steps in. I think what she means is, how can you just remove it? Our charming idiot grins. Oh, that. It's simple. Just take it off one hand and slip it onto the other. He does it like it's nothing. The two girls just give up trying to understand him. All the while, he's still keeping an eye on the person tailing them. A little later, Linger asks, Your Majesty, are you going to kill the Prime Minister? He stops. What? Are you insane? Why would I do that? She says, It's obvious he's going to try and humiliate you in court. If he attacks, I'll have no choice but to expose your power. Then she gets a bright idea. You're strong, right? Why don't you just raid the Prime Minister's mansion tonight? Slap. He smacks her on the head. She immediately complains, Please be gentle. Don't blow up my skull. He shakes his head. That's impossible. You've got a hard head. You think just because someone's targeting me, I'm going to kill him. That's not how I am. Linger pouts. He says he's not violent, but he just nearly crushed my skull. The guard silently observes. This general used to be so proud and untouchable. Now she's like a shy little girl talking to him. Back at home, our protagonist flops into his chair, asks the system to put on a movie, and tells the girls to practice for an hour before heading out. He increases the pressure around them. They just have to follow the method he taught, and well, let's just say, it's the most unique training method I've ever seen. After an hour, they leave. He does a bit of cultivation on his own, until he hears noise outside. When he looks out, the Empress arrives with a small army of maids that look like she literally copy-pasted them in Microsoft Paint. And she's got that royal tone. Prince, why are you just sitting there all spaced out? Come with me to the palace. And she even said to him, Prince, what are you doing just standing there? Come to bed with me, and this time you're not allowed to run away. When she enters the room, she notices a few drops of sweat on the floor. She looks into the eye and says, a lot of people think you're only good at having fun, but they don't realize how hard you've been working. How have you been training lately? Completely straight-faced, he replies that he hasn't really been practicing. He just moves around a little now and then to keep his muscles active. She, being all sweet and gentle, tells him to take as much time as he needs. There's no rush. She's here for him. Look at our boy, all shy and flustered, thinking to himself, my wife is way too amazing. Why are all her seductive traits maxed out like that? The Empress lies down on the bed with a little book in her hand. She looks over and asks, what are you doing just standing there? Aren't you going to come keep me company? He immediately takes off his coat and crashes onto the bed like a rock. She thinks it's kind of funny the way he acts. The candles are blown out and night falls. The Empress tells him there's no need to be so scared, she's only here to clear up people's doubts. But he's over there thinking she's going to devour him. And hey, calm down people. I mean devour as in eat, not what you're thinking. Or is it? The main character says it's only the second time he's ever been in bed with a woman, so of course he's nervous. After all, his whole life has been about learning how to kill. Not exactly the best preparation for this kind of situation. That's when she suddenly turns to him a bit irritated and asks, second time, who was the first? Our boy replies, Your Majesty, it was you before you left for the north when you summoned me. The Empress pauses, realizing it's true. Ah, so my first and second were both with you too. Then she asks, I just want to know, why do you want to go to court and meet the ministers? If you don't want to, you don't need to force yourself. Our guy answers that's because of loneliness. She seems confused. So he explains, before you summoned me, I was always alone. I don't really know how to explain it, but I've always felt isolated. He thinks back on Earth. He was incredibly talented and strong. No one ever wanted to join his group because he could complete every mission on his own. And now he's in a new world even more powerful than before. But this place is 10 times lonelier. She sits there, deep in thought, wondering why he's saying he's lonely if she's there with him. He turns to her and says, even if it's hard to describe, we became husband and wife. Maybe not in the usual sense, but I feel like I have a family now, and that family is you. Damn, our boy knows how to speak. He's basically the playmaker of this story, the messy of emotional confessions. That way he feels like at least they're no longer alone. It's the only way he can really support her. With her eyes shining, she says they need to get to know each other all over again. She tells him her name is Zhu Ruyan. He replies that his name is Xiao Tian. The next chapter kicks off with everything up north settled, and now the prince has to meet the ministers. But back in the city, everyone knows the prime minister had plans to marry his own son off to the empress, which means the prince is going to run into trouble. And then we see the shameless one himself, Liu Hacheng. His son Liu Zami, standing beside the throne, grits his teeth and says, "That was supposed to be my seat." And just like that, the couple enters the room. The protagonist arrives and sees that his seat is shaped like a phoenix. And apparently he sees that as kind of humiliating, since the phoenix is a symbol traditionally associated with women. The empress notices he's standing still and asks what's wrong. He says it's nothing, but she can tell something's bothering him. So she says the prince is a man and shouldn't be sitting in a phoenix chair. She orders it to be changed. The attendants immediately bring in a new chair and she gives him a little wink. Our guy realizes she's doing this to show the ministers that she values him. He sits down, relaxed and confident, while the people in court are quietly embarrassed. This is the man everyone's been talking about. Someone steps forward and says if anyone has something to say, now's the time. Mr. Chang approaches and cuts right to the chase. Your Majesty, I have something to say. She asks what it is. They talk, but everyone already knows he's going to complain about the prince, and our main guy's already thinking ahead. He hadn't expected the prime minister to be this sharp. The man handled himself well with the empress. He was clever, strategic. Our boy says he's not afraid of ambitious people. He's afraid of those who are ambitious and capable. And he knows it won't be easy to strip this man of his power. That's when the prime minister speaks up. Your Majesty, this Prince Xiao Tian is not fit for the empire. It's confusing you and lowering the value of our kingdom. Please banish him from the empire and strip him of his title. Everyone in the room freezes, tension rising like a storm. Meanwhile, our boy's thinking. So this is how it begins. And honestly, he's kind of enjoying it. Linger finds the whole thing amusing. Look at everyone trying to provoke the prince with their little smiles. If only they knew. Sister Liu tells her to stay quiet. The worst outcome would be if the prince got angry, slapped the minister, and killed him on the spot. If he wants to fool around, let him have his fun. Then the empress speaks. Prime Minister, Xiao Tian is my husband. If you say one more word, your head will be the next to roll. And with that, she releases a fearsome aura that shocks the entire court. Everyone now realizes she's already stepped into the menth realm. Truly an unmatched power. And yet the prime minister doesn't seem fazed in the slightest. He smiles and congratulates her. Everyone by his side bows. The empress realizes that even after revealing the full extent of her ninth realm power, the prime minister remained completely unshaken, which can only mean he's more powerful than she thought. The prime minister then speaks. As great a cultivator as Her Majesty may be, her husband has absolutely no talent to lead this world. He's constantly seen indulging in disgraceful behavior, using others for his own profit. Everyone knows he used Her Sacred Majesty's name to brand a bottle of wine. That alone proves he's a man of no virtue and should be expelled from the empire. He continues. On top of that, he spends his entire day with Minister Zhang's daughter and his personal guard, Miss Liu. Rumor even has it that he's forcing Minister Zhang to cook for him. It's clear he's corrupting the palace. If he isn't summoned to court and held accountable, he'll only show how much favoritism the empress has toward him. And once again, he demands that the prince be executed. First it was exile, now he wants the boy's head. That's not happening. Petition to disconnect the prime minister from the server? I'd fully support it. The muscular general is furious, wondering why her daughter's friendship with the prince is even being brought up. Minister Zhang steps in and declares the prime minister is wrong. Xiao Tian built bridges and roads. He's helped the people and even spent his own money to aid refugees. Even his daughter, who used to be rebellious, has changed for the better since spending time with the prince. So he asks the prime minister, how are these actions corrupting the dynasty? Meanwhile, the prince is sitting there grinning, nodding in full agreement with everything Zhang just said. But then the prime minister speaks up again. Where's the proof? Zhang asks what kind of evidence he's looking for. The prime minister says, how could Xiao Tian have possibly done all that himself? I have every reason to believe you were the one behind it all and are just trying to prop him up. Now the people in the court are beginning to murmur, wondering why so much is being done to protect a prince they see as useless. Unfortunately, Minister Zhang realizes that the protagonist only ever gave verbal instructions. There's no solid proof. And so the prime minister says, as we can see, there's no evidence that any of this was actually done by him. But our clever boy speaks up. Then by that same logic, there's no evidence that I didn't do it either. The Prime Minister blinks and actually agrees. You have a point. Since I can't convince anyone with words alone, how about this? He pulls out a scroll. This is a legendary ancient book. Would the prince like to take a look? The Empress looks startled. She immediately questions the Prime Minister. What are you doing? Xiao Tian, on the other hand, is just wondering why he brought out a book and what the big deal is. Is this some kind of cursed book that kills people when they try to read it? Still, he shrugs and says, if you'll allow it, sure, I'll take a look. It's fine. The Empress jumps up. No, you can't read that. Our protagonist says that technically, he could try to read it. But then again, why should he do anything the Prime Minister wants? The Prime Minister claims, this is simply a minor test set by the Empire. If the prince can't pass it, then it only proves he's nothing but a facade. And you probably teamed up with Minister Zhang to deceive the Empress and the higher authorities. Such treachery would be a grave offense. Our guy claps and says, this bastard really knows how to twist words, I'll give him that. Minister Zhang warns that this book contains the inherited language of the dynasty, written in an unknown script. If you try to read it and fail to decipher it, you die instantly. The protagonist replies, so that's what this is, huh? Minister, this test is completely unreasonable. It makes no sense at all. The Prime Minister waves the book in the air and asks, are you afraid, Prince? Xiao Tian steps forward and says, if I read the book, then sure, I prove unworthy of the Empress. But I'm already with her, and if I fail to read it, I die. Sounds like a pretty unfair deal to me, wouldn't you agree? That's when the Prime Minister's son jumps in, furious. Xiao Tian, stop speaking like that to my father. But before he can say more, the prince slaps him across the face and says, it's rude to interrupt when grown-ups are talking. Then he looks at the Prime Minister and asks, tell me, what kind of upbringing did you give your son? The Prime Minister glares at him, then kneels before the Empress. I apologize for my son's behavior in the presence of the royal court. She responds, it's fine. You'll pay for it with 6 months' salary. His son even thanks him. The protagonist is surprised. He didn't expect this side character to be so calm. Usually, these guys are all over the place. The minister starts talking about a secret jade garden full of treasures. Back when the Empress took the throne, she was too young to claim everything stored there. But now, if the prince manages to succeed, the minister promises to gift him 3 million spirit stones as a wedding present. Then he smirks and says, actually, make it 5 million. Take it or leave it. The prince replies, well, minister, if your appetite is that big, I won't be stingy either. Thinking to himself, whatever, he's going to die anyway. He hands over the book. The protagonist takes the book and says, first of all, minister, thank you for this wonderful wedding gift. The Empress is clearly worried and says, husband, don't do this. It's stupid. But he's already opened the book, read a few pages, and closed it. The queen is in shock. The prime minister scoffs, just like all the others. You couldn't handle it either. People in the court begin whispering. That book must be read completely once it's opened. Anyone who closes it before reaching the final page dies instantly. The protagonist turns and asks, wait, is that true? Everyone's now wondering, how is he still alive? He casually walks away saying, standing up for too long is tiring. I'll sit back down and read this slowly. He plops down in his seat and starts flipping through the pages. Everyone stares at him, making him uncomfortable. He says, can you all stop gawking and talk among yourselves? You're distracting me. The Empress asks, are you feeling okay? He gives her a wink, thanks her for worrying, and says, I'm fine. This amazing gift from the Prime Minister. I'll make sure it's yours. The dynamic duo we've gotten to know well are standing nearby with the usual deadpan expressions. This damn guy, he's just messing with everyone. We knew this was going to happen. The prince is calm as ever, while the minister's fuming inside. How is this bastard reading that book like it's nothing? Our protagonist closes the book and places his hand on his head. The Empress watches him and thinks maybe he wasn't affected because he has no cultivation. She feels proud. Even if my husband's just a normal guy, he's still remarkable in his own way. He starts getting curious about the book's contents. Was this even made by a person? He asks the system. Is this for physical training or what? The system replies. That book is protected by a prohibition spell. Anyone below the 10th realm is destroyed instantly upon reading it. What? He's the protagonist. He grins. Oh, so this wasn't made by a human? This world's got some interesting stuff. System, translate it for me. The system says, unfortunately, translation requires 3,000 points. Complete missions to earn them. He grumbles. Seriously, you're not going to translate it for me? The system replies, dear master, sadly, I require points to do that. Book still open, he mutters. Look at the mess I'm in. If I embarrass myself, you know the consequences. The system hesitates. Mission initiated. Sit in the chair for 1 second. Mission complete. You have received 9,999,999 points. Well, that's the end of the story. Clearly, the system plays favorites. Back to it. The system says it's translating now. The protagonist comments, why did you only do this after I pressured you? You better step it up next time. The system, sounding ashamed, apologizes and promises it won't happen again. Of course it won't. Our guy now has 9 billion points. Meanwhile, the minister sees the prince laughing and gets even more irritated. He asks, Prince Xiao, did you really understand what's written in that book? And don't even think about pretending it's fake. The protagonist stands up. I wouldn't waste my time pulling a stunt like that. I'm just waiting for the system to finish the translation. Suddenly, the book in his hand begins to glow. Everyone gasps. It's the book's inheritance. Even the Empress is shocked. She exclaims, the ancient book that's killed over 10 people has now revealed its inheritance to the prince. Surely that's enough for you, minister. But the minister protests. I didn't see the prince actually absorb the inheritance. Maybe he just triggered a mechanism that made it react. The book floats into the air and releases a flurry of glowing characters that shoot straight into the prince's mind. After transferring everything, the book drops to the ground. The protagonist turns and asks, well, Prime Minister, what now? Going to pull another trick? Better not come up with any lame excuses. The minister lowers his head. I apologize. I didn't realize the prince was a genius. Xiaotian responds, no problem. Now just send over the 6 million spirit stones. He snatches the contract or paper out of the minister's hand. Much appreciated, Prime Minister Liu. The minister's son growls, all of that belongs to Her Majesty. There's no need to thank me. But Xiaotian raises his hand and says, oh, I was talking about that extra million you added earlier in the bet. I expected 5, but who would have thought you'd be so generous and throw in one more from your own pocket? He raises his fist toward the minister. Someone whispers, what's he doing? And our guy just gives him a thumbs up. The queen, trying not to laugh, says, maybe the prince could go a little easier on the poor man. He's already looking sick. Give him a break. And now the entire court bursts into laughter at the poor minister's expense. The minister says, thank you very much, Your Majesty. The gift will be delivered to the palace tonight. The empress stands and replies, I thank you as well for your generosity. If everyone's satisfied, let's take our leave. As they head out, the group that's always tagging along with the protagonist is all smiles. Our boy turns to Minister Zhang and says, after today's huge win, I'll have to celebrate with dinner at your place. The empress's elders nod and say, Prince Xiao truly woke us up today. You carry yourself with such strength and confidence. You're really impressive, Prince. Amazing. The prince waves them off and says, all right, let's stop with the praise. What I really enjoy is wine. Think we can bring a bottle to tonight's dinner? Everyone chuckles, saying the prince's spirit really is something else. They've got nothing else to say. Even the buff general compliments him. You really are something, Prince. And off they go. The hubby chimes in. Come on, love, I'll cook you something delicious tonight. The protagonist glances at the key the minister gave him and thinks, that lunatic's not gonna come up with some excuse to avoid paying those 6 million spirit stones, right? Miss Liu tells him not to worry. The minister has his issues, but he's a man of his word. Our boy doesn't want the prime minister to become an enemy of the empire. After all, whether he likes it or not, the guy is skilled and essential to the dynasty. Linger turns and asks, Prince, what happened with that book that kills people? He replies, that ancient book? It just had a mechanism. If you're below the 10th heavenly realm, you die instantly. Nothing crazy. The girls freeze. Obliterated below the 10th realm, Liu asks, what is this heavenly realm stuff? What does that even mean? The protagonist looks confused. You don't know. They shake their heads. All we know is the human race and the monster race. We've never even heard of an ancient god race. That Linger asks, Prince, why were you flipping through the book like that? Did that help you absorb its knowledge? He answers, no, it didn't help. How can you be so dumb? How would opening and closing a book help transfer a legacy? Still not getting it, she asks. Then why were you doing that, Prince? He goes, every time the book tried to kill me, it gave my body a little massage. I thought it felt kinda nice. They panic. Prince, that book is meant to kill someone at the 10th realm. Stop using it for massages. The next chapter opens at the prime minister's estate, where his idiot son says, Father, like Xiaotian, he's a total disgrace. Why don't we just find someone and get rid of him? His father replies, this matter is closed. We're not going to ruin a major occasion just because of some powerless fool. And frankly, I'm very disappointed in you today. The son starts to talk back, but immediately gets a lecture. One day, you'll have to take your place in this empire. And how do you expect to do that acting like a brat in front of everyone? The son lowers his head. Sorry, father. The minister looks out the window and says, my return to the empire is near. We need to tread carefully during this final stretch. Then he orders, send someone to spread the word that the prince has inherited the book's legacy. That'll stir things up for him and give the empress a serious headache. Look at what this bastard's scheming. If it weren't for that unknown man who defeated the Blood Tower, this idiot prince would have been kidnapped, and I could have stolen the empress's position. Now our boy's got to find out that this guy's the real villain. But for now, he's more concerned about the empress, who's been working herself to the bone. He walks in and is shocked by how much she's already done. She says, if it weren't for the prime minister, you probably wouldn't even be able to see me behind this pile of work. He tells her, being empress is no joke, and thinks to himself, good thing I'm not the one doing it. I'm just chilling here. The empress explains that the grand dynasty is the result of her father's efforts and the sacrifices of her 2 older brothers who died. No matter how tired I get, it's nothing compared to what they gave. The protagonist asks if the 6 million spirit stones have been delivered to the palace yet. That reminds her, right, I have a favor to ask. The jade pendant the minister gave you, it matches this one. Together, they unlock the wealth my father left behind. He stares at the key thinking, knew this was gonna turn into a job. She tells him, I'm leaving the key in your care so you'll be in charge of that place. I've got a mountain of other responsibilities. At least this way, the court won't be able to say you're not doing anything right. He smiles and says, well, if that easy, and let's get to it. He joins the two pendants together, and a brilliant light flashes out. The Empress explains, this jade pendant is also a spiritual weapon. It will protect you. You're supposed to tell someone to move the contents of an old archive to a new location, and you can decide whether or not you want to keep what's inside the vault. Our boy is all giddy with excitement. Not only is he going to pretend he's doing something important, but he's also going to get free money to spend however he likes. Thank you, Empress. I'll keep it safe for you. Just as he's about to turn around, she stands up and thanks him. Like the good little scammer he is, he winks and says, anything for you, my love. Scene shifts. He's now entering the vault with his two companions. Inside, there's an item that came with him during his transmigration. Linger looks at it and says, that looks like a coffin. What even is this? He smacks her lightly on the head. That's a weapon my master gave me. She responds, your master must have been really strong. Let me take a look. The protagonist cuts her off. You can't. He silently hopes he'll never need to use it again. They were all weapons he used during his assassinations. All right, let's go. I want to see the old man's warehouse. When they reach the entrance, the guards block his path. He pulls out the jade pendant and says, I'm here on orders from the Empress. The guards step aside, and behind them is a literal mountain of money. Our guy gives a heartfelt thanks to Lord Liu Chang. He still finds it odd that the Emperor's personal vault has more money than the entire empire combined. The two girls just stand there, totally clueless about how many spirit stones are in that pile. The protagonist tells Sister Liu to call the Empress so they can decide what to do with all this wealth. He places his hand on the warrior girl's shoulder and asks, do you think your father would pass out if he saw all this? Linger says, my dad's been working in the treasury for years, he wouldn't faint over something like this. With a hand to his chin, our boy wonders, that's it? This woman's crazy. With this amount of money, I could live 100,000 lifetimes doing absolutely nothing. Just then, the Empress arrives, shocked. What kind of absurd amount of money is this? The prince turns to her and asks what they should do. She's still frozen, mind spinning. Suddenly, there's a loud thud. Everyone looks back and Minister John has lost connection to the world. He's completely passed out on the floor. Our guy glances at Linger, who's covering her face in embarrassment. John comes to with a burst of energy. This will go to the south. This will be used to forge weapons. Finally, we can build those roads. The Empress thanks the protagonist. Thanks to you, we've uncovered all these treasures. You're free to take as much as you'd like to make yourself happy. With that familiar sparkle in his eyes, he says, as much as I want? Awesome. He grabs a whole bunch of spirit stones and makes a bed out of them. Lying down, his forehead begins to open up, a third eye begins to form. Inside his sea of consciousness, an old man appears. It's the spirit of an ancient god. Upon arriving, the old man seems puzzled. Is this the soul of a human? Wait, let me sense this again. He expands his awareness and questions aloud. How is this possible? A human, inheriting the power of a god? He must have used some trick to steal it. Suddenly, an apple appears and speaks. Analysis complete. The spirit of the ancient god is the legacy's guardian spirit. The old man says, in the spiritual world, the brighter your glow, the stronger you are. I have 99 stars, but the tomato beside him, it has over 3,000. He stares and asks, who are you? Are you the master of the sea? The tomato replies, I am NK in my master's loyal system. And yes, this is indeed my master's sea of consciousness. Then a voice echoes from behind. What's with all the noise? Can a guy get some sleep around here? The old man turns, sees the glowing figure, and immediately drops to his knees. Our boy is radiating light. The tomato warns him, sir, you'd better back off. My master just woke up, and he might accidentally kill you. The old man stumbles backward in retreat. Our protagonist watches all this in disbelief. He turns to NK and asks, why did that old man show up in my consciousness? The system answers, he's the spirit of the inheritance inside that ancient book. From what he understands, the old man came to teach him the legacy of knowledge. With a hand on his chin, he starts to piece it together. So this is what the gods look like, basically just like a teacher. The old man, clearly embarrassed, says, yes, I'm the incarnation of the ancient gods. But in truth, the elder already had a plan forming. I need this guy's help. I'll pretend I'm passing on knowledge to him. And in the process, I'll revive the ancient gods. Our boy, suspicious as ever, asks what he's thinking. Trying to play it cool, the old man puts on an innocent face. Pardon, my lord, I'm not thinking anything at all. Pointing a finger right at him, our boy says, I can feel the dark intent on you. You better spill your plan now, or this won't end well. System, eat him. The system gives a silent nod. The old man's in shock. You wretch sprat. Where's your respect for a grand elder? Shobtian says, I saw the resentment in your eyes, and I refuse to believe the mind of a so-called great elder is that small. By now, the old guy's halfway down the tomato's throat. The system receives an upgrade. Night falls. A thief perches on the roof, watching our boy sleep. As expected from the Empress's favorite, sleeping on an extravagant bed of spirit stones. But unfortunately for him, those comfy days are about to end. He leaps down and goes straight for the protagonist's throat, only for his little sword to shatter instantly. The guy just stares, baffled. Meanwhile, our boy slowly opens his eyes and thinks, "What the hell are you doing, man?" The assassin, sweating bullets, says, "If I said it was an accident, would you believe me?" Outside, someone shouts, "Your Highness, I heard something." The protagonist calls back, "It's all good. I just knocked something over. Don't worry. Stay out. No one needs to come in." He picks up the broken blade and examines it, starts bending the dagger casually. The little ninja's stunned. What kind of monster is this guy? That was a 6th rank weapon. He collapses, trembling. The intelligence department must be brain dead. There's no way this is normal. The guard rushes in and asks, "What happened, Your Majesty?" He says, "I honestly don't know. I think this guy tried something while I was asleep." She asks if the Empress is all right. He nods. She's fine. Then she asks, "But where's his weapon?" Our boy hands it to her. "I was just doing a little recycling. Keep it. It might be worth something." She examines it and recognizes it. It's Lin Shen gold. This thing's worth a fortune. She bows and thanks the prince. Then she steps up to the intruder and immediately recognizes him. "You're an assassin from the Dark Soul Palace. To get in here unnoticed, you must be one of the 6 malicious blades, aren't you?" The man, nervous, replies, "Yes, you're sharp. I'm Fang Meng, a member of the Dark Spirit sect. But this is all just a misunderstanding." She raises an eyebrow. "Misunderstanding? You snuck into the palace and tried to kill him." He insists, No, I used the back of the blade." "Your Highness, that's right, isn't it?" The prince shrugs. "Yeah, he did use the back. Otherwise, well, I wouldn't be alive right now." The assassin confesses, "Actually, I even went after the wrong guy. I thought he was just a servant. I had no idea he was the prince." Our boy looks at her and says, "Man, this guy really thinks I'm an idiot, doesn't he?" Sister Liu chimes in, "Just accept your fate, buddy. You're another unlucky fool from the Dark Soul Hall who happened to fall into the prince's hands." The assassin freezes. Another one. He suddenly remembers the old man who came and never came back. He points at the protagonist. "You're of your Wang Yan, the one who took down the poison elder. You're the one behind the Blood Palace incident, the one who fell into the sea." So Qiu Tian was Wang Yan all along. To everyone else, he was just some pampered pretty boy backed by the Empress. The assassin gasps, "Prince Xiao, you're a god." The prince is just standing there thinking, "Great, look at this idiot shouting stuff like that. What if my wife hears it?" He suddenly slashes through space itself. How the hell did he just do that? The prince grabs him by the neck. "I wanted to give you a chance to start a new life, but I didn't expect you to be so reckless." Yelling that I'm strong loud enough for the whole palace to hear. "You're trying to blow him on a cover in front of Her Majesty." The guy tries a casual little wave. "Oh, you're still playing games, huh? Well, don't blame me for what comes next." And with that, he tosses him into the space-time rift. He closes his eyes and offers a little prayer for the guy's soul, thinking, "I'm strict with myself, but I'm generous with others." The little guard is in shock, thinking, first he was blowing up mountains, now he's throwing people out of reality. I honestly don't even know what the prince's real power is anymore. Our boy points and says, "Go check if the Empress is still in the Imperial Hall." "I don't want anything waking her up," she replies. "Got it." Then someone opens the door and says, "Prince, intruders have entered the palace. It's advised that you remain here tonight." "Don't worry, the Empress is safe." Relieved, he responds. Well, what a perfect coincidence. He waves goodbye to the guards, lies down, and thinks tomorrow I'll get to eat one of Zong's amazing meals. Next morning, Linger is pacing nonstop. Her mother walks over and asks, "Daughter, any word from your father?" Stealing the protagonist's chef was a terrible idea. Linger replies, "No, I searched the entire city, and there's no trace of him." The general sighs. "Unfortunately, I haven't found anything either." Suddenly, an explosion erupts right in front of them. The Empress arrives, furious. They ask if she found anything, and she says, "Nothing. There's no trace of Uncle Zhang anywhere." The general starts blaming herself. "It's all my fault. I shouldn't have argued with him yesterday. I literally kicked him out of the room with full force. If I just stayed with him, no one could have taken him." The Empress believes it's connected to the solutions Zhang's been bringing to the southern refugee issue. As he improves people's lives down there, others can't make money off exploiting them anymore. So they may have hired someone, like the Dark Soul Hall, to take care of it. The general trembles at the thought, knowing how those people usually operate. She fears her husband may already be dead. She collapses to the ground. "Your Majesty, I've never asked for anything before, but please, save him." The Empress kneels beside her. "Don't worry. Even if I'm the great Empress now, I'm still that little girl you helped raise. I'll bring your husband back." The muscular general thanks her through tears. The Empress tells Linger to look after her mother and takes off, flying into the sky. But the general hesitates. What if the enemy's goal is to lure the Empress away? What if they're actually nearby, hiding? She decides to investigate the surrounding areas herself and warns Linger to stay alert. Linger's nervous. What if something really bad happened to Dad? Then she gets an idea. "Prince." She takes off running. Sister Liu is inside practicing a dance routine. Linger throws open the door. "Where's the prince?" She assumes he's still asleep. "What's the matter, General?" "My father. He's gone. Gone? Linger pushes open the bedroom door. Prince. He wakes up all disoriented. Ugh, what kid? It's way too early. She blurts, Your Excellency, last night my father was kidnapped, and no one's found him yet. I know you said you don't like fighting, but this time. The prince freezes. Wait, what did you just say? My chef was kidnapped. She replies, No, it was my father, not your chef. Well, technically, Mr. Zhang is both her father and my cook. But anyway, he sits up straighter. Sorry, hold on, let me redo this. He lies back down, throws his arm over his eyes. Oh my god, you're telling me my dear brother Zhang got taken. The girls both think he's strong, but acts like a child. He says he's just joking, but then gets serious. No wonder weird stuff was happening last night. Who's bold enough to sneak into the imperial palace? Linger mutters, Who's tired of living and decided to target you, prince? He goes, What's up with this Dark Soul temple? Why are they targeting me? Linger asks, What do you mean? He explains, Think about it. Since I took this role, all I've done is eat, drink, and sleep. I haven't provoked anyone. So why am I suddenly their target? They respond, Oh, well, that explains it. You're underestimated. The prince thinks aloud. They sent that old swamp guy before, and last night they sent another one. I don't think it's a coincidence anymore. Maybe they found something about me at the Blood Tower. This time, the attacker came straight for me. And yet there are people way more important than me in the Grand Dynasty. They didn't touch the Prime Minister, who's way more politically powerful. But Zhang, he's the one closest to me. So I have every reason to believe this temple is actually targeting me. The girls try to reassure him. Prince, stop overthinking it. No one's aiming for you. But the real problem? Her Majesty. She went to the Dark Soul Temple too. What if she sees me while I'm fighting? He thinks. But on the other hand, if I don't do anything, I won't be able to eat Zhang's cooking anymore. Damn it. Why are there always so many shameless people trying to ruin my peace? That's it. I'll have to kill him. He turns to the girl and says, Don't worry. I'll bring your father back. And just like that, boom, he explodes into the sky, flying off at full speed. Outside, no one even understands what just happened. Linger watches him disappear and says, I kind of feel sorry for the Dark Soul Temple now. They messed with someone the prince actually likes. Leah replies, No need to feel sympathy for them. Like the prince said, that place is disgusting. He should just destroy it completely. Anyone who crosses the prince deserves whatever happens next. Up in the sky, the Empress is flying through the clouds, searching for Mr. Zhang. She suddenly comes to a halt. Did you really make it out this far? From here on, it's the territory of the Dark Soul Palace. If I go in alone, it'll be seen as a declaration of war from the Empire. Maybe I should check the Xianjing region instead. But at that moment, she senses something behind her. A streak of green energy shoots past. She turns fast, slashing behind her. But whoever it was is already gone, her attack hitting empty air. What in the world? How fast is this person? And why are they headed in the direction of the Dark Soul Palace? She starts thinking, could it be him, Wang Yang, the one who destroyed the Blood Palace? I have to catch up and find out. The scene shifts. A group of generic-looking old men, clearly just clones of one another, are standing atop a mountain. A man drags Mr. Zhang forward, tied up. The clone elders all kneel. We greet the great Lord Tiansha. Zhang immediately realizes, this is the Dark Soul Palace, standing before their massive front gate. Though something seems off. The structure doesn't look more than 30 or 40 years old, and yet the palace itself is supposed to be over 100. Inside, he's tossed to the ground. The man introduces him. My lord, this is Zhang Yanming, a minister from the Grand Yan dynasty. I've brought him as requested. A man with a strange mark on his forehead steps forward. Seems you're quicker than the last one. You didn't run into any problems on the way, did you? No, he replies. But the Empress and her general are already out looking for him. Luckily, they haven't discovered the teleportation formations we set up. This is Bai Qinglian, the Lord of the Dark Soul Hall. Zhang instantly recognizes him. Bai Qinglian says, You don't seem desperate, Mr. Zhang. You're a brave man. We cut to a group of assassins, the kind we already know are doomed to die. So why even bother learning their names? Zhang calmly responds, Seems like I've reached the end of the road. There's nothing to fear now. I'm just a minister from the construction department. If I get to witness a grand battle in this palace before I die, that'll be enough. Bai Qinglian chuckles. Come now, Mr. Zhang. No need to be so dramatic. We at the Dark Soul Hall prefer diplomacy. We only invited you here to discuss something. We want you to support Xiao Tian's position as prince, and to assist him in monitoring the Empress's movements. Zhang furrows his brow. What are you talking about? Monitoring the Empress? What exactly is your plan? And another thing, Xiao Tian is just an ordinary man. Why are you so interested in him? Bai Qinglian replies, What we intend to do and why we care about Xiao Tian. Those aren't things you need to know. At that moment, Zhang realizes the Dark Soul Hall has no connection to Liu Hacheng, the Prime Minister. Bai Qinglian asks, So, Mr. Zhang, what do you say? I hope you'll think carefully. But Zhang answers firmly, I used to be just a poor scholar. It was the kindness of the Emperor that gave me the life I have now. And today, the Empress, Her Majesty, is like a daughter to me. Do you really think I would betray my family? The Lord of the Dark Soul Hall sighs. You got courage, Mr. Zhang, But sadly, in this place, courage means nothing. He turns and says, Shifu, show Mr. Zhang what you can do. A man steps forward, smiling, gladly. Without warning, he punches Zhang hard in the stomach, then opens his mouth to release a strange creature. Zhang swallows it before he can react. The man explains, that's a scent worm, a rather unique poison. If you don't take the antidote for the scent, the insect will slowly start eating away at your internal organs. The man explains, it'll pierce your lungs first, suck your blood dry. One of the worst deaths you could imagine. He goes on, but if you cooperate with us, we'll give you the incense that keeps the insect from activating. Still, Mr. Zhang remains silent. You and the villains seem to respect him. He really has a strong heart. One of them mutters, that insect should already be devouring him from the inside. Another shouts, impossible. How can you not scream in pain? Bai Qinglian simply observes in silence. Mr. Zhang's already drooling from the agony, yet still manages to sit upright. He stands and says, the great emperor never hesitated when speaking to me, even though I held a lower rank. He, a man of great power, still called me brother. And to Her Majesty, I've been an uncle since she was a little girl. The Yan dynasty isn't just a country to me, it's my home. You really think I'm going to scream over some cheap poison? One of the thugs storms up furious. You're asking for death. Zhang roars. I am Zhang Yoming. I'd rather die standing than live on my knees. The enemies murmur. Well, if that's what you want, then fine. This court will grant you death. The scared man steps forward as the poison wielder steps back. He pulls out a blade glowing with an unknown element and presses it to Zhang's face. Tears well up in Zhang's eyes. Forgive me, Your Majesty. I can no longer protect you. Linger. I'm sorry I won't be around to see you get married or have children. To my wife, I'm sorry for that fight we had last night. Then, boom, an explosion erupts. Someone's coming. Someone yells. Our boy bursts in, instantly taking one of them down. He turns and shouts, Mr. Zhang, are you all right? Zhang, eyes filled with tears, responds, Your Excellency. The prince casually says, Good morning, Mr. Zhang. Why the tears? He glares straight at Bai Qinglian. You got guts kidnapping my chef like that. His aura starts pouring out. The protagonist thinks about just unleashing everything and wiping them all out right then. But he probably killed Zhang too. And besides, he just crossed paths with the Empress, so he has to be careful. So instead, he launches straight toward the first enemy. Bai Qinglian shouts, Stop. Zhang has a worm inside him. If you go wild, the pain alone will kill him before anything else does. Our boy approaches Zhang slowly. I think you're mistaken. He looks like he's already in plenty of pain. The enemies are dumbfounded. Is he joking right now? The poison user says, Prince, I put that worm in him. There is no cure. He's going to die, got it? If you don't believe me, just ask him. Go on, Zhang. Tell him yourself. Let the prince know you're a goner. A green-haired woman chimes in. Isn't he one of your closest friends, Prince? You should really be looking after him. Zhang, totally confused, wonders aloud. What's going on here? What are these people even doing? The prince leans in and asks, Zhang, are you really dying? Zhang hadn't even realized it was the prince standing there. He replies, Your daughter told me that when she was 6, you used to, fart in her face. Everyone stifles a laugh. Zhang glares. Why wouldn't you bring that up just to prove who you are? He starts yelling. Linger is dead. How would she even remember something like that from when she was 6? One of the palace guys says, Prince, as you can see, looks like there's been a misunderstanding. The protagonist sighs. Can you guys stop talking like cliché villains for 5 seconds? Embarrassed, one of them replies, Sorry, my bad. I'm just used to it. The prince then turns to the poison user and demands the antidote. The man pulls out a stick of incense. Mr. Zhang inhales deeply. Well, did it work? Zhang answers, Prince, this just calms the creature down. It's not an antidote. The prince narrows his eyes. It's not an antidote. Bai Qinglian quickly adds, We just wanted to help him relax a bit. Look, maybe we can trade the real antidote for our lives. How's that sound? Mr. Zhang interrupts, Prince, don't agree to that. They'll force you into signing a heaven and earth pact. Once you do, you'll never be able to harm them again. Don't worry about me. I don't regret dying here, so long as this wicked temple is wiped from existence. The people from the temple look stunned. Damn it, we needed Zhang to be afraid of dying so the prince would give in. But the protagonist calmly replies, Fine, I'll sign the blood contract. He turns to Zhang. If you die, who's going to cook delicious food for me? And let's not forget, if you die, Linger's going to bug me non-stop. She'll be crying all day. Xiao Qian begins speaking. So, let me give you all a little advice for the future. The path of the heavens is reincarnation. In exchange for the antidote to save Zhang Ming, Xiao Qian will spare all of you. He won't lay a hand on anyone. Then he says, So the blood pact has been sealed. Right. The poison user pulls out a small purple orb. If he swallows this, the worms will disappear. The prince tells them to take their chance. And then he and Zhang leave. Once they're gone, the lackeys breathe a sigh of relief. Finally, he's gone. Bai Qinglian turns to one of them. Put one of those worms in everyone who handles intelligence gathering. How did none of them realize the prince was this strong? The poison guy, shaking, replies, Yeah, unbelievable. Just a pack of dogs. They said all that guy did was eat and drink. The buff guy asks, So, what do we do now? Qinglian responds, This is above us now. Only the higher-ups can handle it. At least the blood contract says he can't touch us, but we can do whatever we want to him. I'm going to make him suffer." Suddenly, one of the women shouts, "My lord." "What now? Stop grabbing me." "No, seriously, look." He turns in surprise and sees that the prince and Mr. Zhang had never left. They were just watching the whole thing unfold. The protagonist steps out. "You know what I think about people like you?" Zhang, curious, asks, "What, prince?" "Old dogs don't learn new tricks." Zhang chuckles. Didn't think the prince enjoyed watching his enemies squirm. The prince keeps walking toward them. "I gave you a chance to change, to do the right thing, but I'm disappointed." Bag King Lian stammers, "I was just joking, prince. You know we have a blood pact, right?" Zhang sighs, "I knew it. I knew they'd pull something like this. It's my fault. If I weren't here, the prince could have handled it freely." King Lian warns, "Prince, remember the contract. If you attack us, the heavenly laws will strike you down." Our boy says, "Stop repeating the same line." "As I expected. I'm the real target of your temple, aren't I, Bag King Lian? I underestimated you. At first I thought you just wanted to break up my relationship with the Empress." Bag King Lian is stunned. Break up his relationship with the Empress? The protagonist continues, "That's why you sent that old swamp man after me." Bei replies, "He died by your hands. Come on, you really think I kill innocent people? He offed himself right in front of me, alright?" Mr. Zhang finally puts it together. "So if the prince is Wang Yang, the others realize it too." "Wait, you made that guy choose death over facing you?" "No doubt about it." The prince asks, "You still don't feel any guilt, do you? Still trying to say I'm some kind of killer? Looks like you're all rotten to the core. Well then, today I'm bringing you to the Heavenly Palace." One guy spits venom. "You signed a blood pact. You're not afraid of heavenly punishment." The protagonist blocks it easily. "These cheap tricks won't work on me." And then he blasts a one-handed energy wave so powerful it tears a hole through the place. Where'd that guy go? Looks like he was vaporized. Mr. Zhang gasps, "Prince, what have you done?" The contract's going to activate. Above, the sky begins to darken, filled with thunderous energy. Zhang looks up. As expected, the laws of heaven and earth can't be broken. King Lian starts laughing. "Haha, you really think you'll walk out alive now, prince?" A purple dragon descends from the sky. The villains all start smiling wickedly, but the protagonist looks the dragon in the eyes. "If you got the guts, try to take my head." The dragon pauses, then slowly approaches him. It coils around his back, flying gently in circles almost protectively. Zhang watches in awe. Unbelievable. It returned to the heavens. The protagonist mutters, "So that's the blood contract?" He raises his hand, and the contract dissolves instantly. It has no effect on the descendants of Yang. Everyone stares in horror. Who is this guy? Why don't the heavenly rules apply to him? They throw themselves to the ground, groveling before him. "Your Excellency, I know I was wrong. Please spare me. I truly regret everything." But our boy says, "Unfortunately, I can't do that. You're lunatics. Maniacs. I already went against my better judgment by sparing you once. Maybe I'm just too soft-hearted, but hey, since your cultivation is pretty decent, I'll give you one last chance. I'm going to count to 3. Each of you will tell me one good thing you've done in your life. If I approve, that means you might still be worth saving." They look at each other, thinking, "He's strong, but he's a simple-minded fool. All we have to do is make something up, and he'll let us go." Mr. Zhang speaks up. "Prince, you need to set some kind of rule. They could just lie to you." But our boy responds, "Zhang, that kind of thinking is exactly the problem. This world is already dark and difficult, and if people with power like me don't walk the path of light, then the sun will never shine through the darkness. They're already lost in the shadows. Why not give them a chance to step into the light?" He turns to the 3 of them. "You 3 ready?" 3. They blink. "Huh, what do you mean?" Before they can finish, he waves goodbye and hurls them straight through a portal. Zhang stares, stunned. Wait, was he playing those poor guys the whole time? The prince casually brushes off his hands. "What's the point of being strong if I can't even make people better?" As he walks off, Zhang says, "Prince, if the Dark Soul Palace is completely destroyed, the Wang Empire will finally have long-term stability on the southern border." The prince shoots in a look. "I show a tiny bit of power and you're already trying to give me orders." Zhang scratches his head sheepishly. "Well, you know what they say, those who can do more should do more." Xiao responds, offended. "Unbelievable. So you are just a heartless opportunist." He thinks to himself, "And if I reveal how strong I really am, the Empress is going to have even more work to deal with. She'll start strategizing, planning conquests. I can't let my power be exposed like that." He turns back to Zhang. "Here's your warning. When you return, you cannot tell anyone what you saw today." Zhang, wide-eyed, nods quickly. The prince continues, "Your daughter already knows I'm powerful, but this whole Dark Palace business stays between us." In the next scene, we see bodies lying everywhere. "All right, time to finish collecting what they owed us." Zhang asks, "Owed us? What do you mean?" They reach a sealed door. The prince places his hand on it, and it opens. Inside, another massive pile of treasure. The prince turns to the system. "How much is in there?" The system replies, "Emergency maintenance in progress." Shubtian frowns. "Wake up now and calculate it." The system sighs. "There are 32 million spirit stones. May I resume upgrading?" The prince waves him off. "Fine, go." He looks at the treasure, unimpressed. Seriously? Only 32 million stones. That's nowhere near enough to make up for what they did. In the end, this place is more like the Palace of Poverty. Mr. Zhang offers, but we only make 10 million a year in the Empire. This is worth a lot, sir. The prince sighs. Well, I guess it's a decent compensation. Zhang frowns. Compensation? Shouldn't this be turned over to the Imperial Treasury? The protagonist blinks. Turn it over to the Treasury? No. This entire pile right here is compensation from Bai Qinglian to us. I mean, I was supposed to be sitting at home, eating great food, sipping wine. But no, because of that cursed dark palace, I had to come all the way out here. Think about it. The trouble they caused, the stress you went through, me leaving my house, coming all the way over here. When you add all that up, they should pay at least 37 million. But here we are, only 32 million in the vault. Tech, this place still owes us 5 million. Mr. Zhang watches him baffled. Why is he tallying up debts from people who are already dead? Prince, your accounting is impressive. And she tried using all of her charm to win over our lazy guy. She said that if he took her home, she'd take a nice bath really close to him. Our boy widened his eyes, fully catching on to this shameless woman's intentions. Totally confident, she was thinking, I know all men are like, but she gets smacked on the head. She falls to the ground, holding her head and looking up at him, totally confused by the rejection. Then we find out this trickster has some serious masochistic tendencies. Look at her face, she's glowing, excited to get hit again. She runs straight at our guy, begging for more. He's completely freaked out now, not sure what to do. If he hits her, she'll like it. So he says, I think there's something a little off about the way you think, don't you? We humans already go through so much in life. How can you enjoy getting hit? He gently touches her forehead and adds, if you're struggling with something, you can tell me. She replies that what she really loves is getting things without doing a single thing for them. Annoyed, the prince smacks her on the head and says, have you lost your mind? That makes no sense, woman. You need to live a life of accomplishments. Don't even think about doing nothing, do you hear me? Naturally, she's wearing that face full of pleasure. He clearly hasn't noticed she's enjoying every bit of this. Then the shameless one says it's not that weird. It's just that he doesn't understand. Our boy gets ready to hit her again, but now she's giving him an innocent look like she wants another one. He thinks, this girl's got some strange preferences. Then he asks, should I maybe take you to your relative's place? She says her parents killed each other and died together. Trying to give her a life lesson, he says, then you really should put effort into your life and work hard. She's down on her knees saying she's not going to do that, obviously just fishing for another slap. And hey, let's give it up for the artist. This panel is incredible. The guy's really putting in work today. Our knave guy lifts his hand to smack her again, but then he pauses and thinks, wait a minute. Strangely enough, the more he argues with her, the more excited she gets. He throws a rock on the ground, frustrated, wondering what to do. That's when an old man shows up, calling out to the prince. Linger and Sister Liu spot our main guy and immediately start wondering, where did he pick up this boosted hobo? Our boy turns his back to leave when she says, the concubine is tired. May I ride on your back? In case you don't know, a concubine is basically a side woman, if you get what I mean. Asian emperors and kings used to have a bunch of them, like 15 girls just hanging around. Totally irritated, the prince tells her to turn around and walk. The homeless girl is grinning happily. It's like she enjoys being insulted by him. Meanwhile, everyone's thinking, hold on, did the prince really find such a peculiar beggar? Not to mention why he's so worked up. Sister Liu steps in, Your Excellency, but our guy cuts her off and turns to the old man. He says to give this woman a task, she has to work 24 hours a day with guards watching her nonstop. Bam, another smack on the head. Got it? She says she understands. But Linger and Sister Liu already caught on to her little act. Raising his hand, our guy says goodbye and tells the old man, you take care of this crazy one. The old man's left thinking he never expected the prince to go chasing flowers when he's got an empress. Oh, trouble's brewing in our boy's love life. Tearing up, he says, women are so exhausting. I just want to go home, have a drink, eat some of Zong's cooking, and relax. Now the scene changes to a garden and we see the beggar girl thinking that guy is really something. Ever since I lost my parents, no one's dared to hit me to teach me a lesson. But this feeling of being disciplined, yeah, we already know she's into getting smacked, even though she keeps that innocent face. She never thought she'd meet someone who'd give her an opportunity like this. Suddenly, some kind of power drops in front of her. The royal guards appear. Whoa, and they call her Empress too. Okay, and now it makes sense why all the empresses in this kingdom are into our guy. But listen, girl, he likes being spoiled, so you're gonna have to hustle. The guards are watching her and she's already starting to transform. Told you? The artist did not slack off today. Just look at the perfection in this design. She's strong. I'm definitely writing this one down. And wow, in the next panel, she comes in even more powerful and asks what's going on. One of the guards explains that the Sacred Demon Sect, the Black Soul Palace, and the Dongyan Empire combined could destroy the Yan dynasty. And since the Sacred Demon Sect was founded by her 18th brother, she has to get involved. But the beggar, now revealed to be an empress with 2 massive airbags, says she's unsure. She knows her brothers usually use these wars as chances to take over the throne, so this could be their plan to eliminate her. Plus, she's aware that the Black Soul Palace lost a ton of their members, so she can't count on their support. If that's the case, then they're going to use every possible resource to buy off the people of the Yan dynasty. They want to bring the dynasty down from the inside out. The guards start trying to come up with some plans on how they'll sway the townspeople. Meanwhile, Sayeon can't get the image of our guy arguing with her out of her head, but she's already getting irritated that the guards haven't figured anything out yet. She creates a cloud with the protagonist's image and says that tomorrow she'll head to the Imperial City to investigate the situation. She needs to get a closer look at that man. The 3 guards are instantly shocked. The great king of soft rice. Sayeon thinks to herself, what? King? God of rice? What does that even mean? She has no clue what the nickname implies. One of the girls points at the little cloud with the protagonist and explains, Your Majesty, that man is the Empress's husband in the Yan dynasty and the current prince, Xiao Tian. He's an incredibly ordinary guy who knows exactly how to use his charm and personality to win women over. That's how he ended up with the Empress. He also wrecked the Prime Minister's entire plan. But since he's amazing at running the city, the people started calling him that. The phrase ordinary human flies right past her. She says she doesn't like being tempted by anyone. But now she's thinking, how is she supposed to get her hands on Xiao Tian? She wants him to take care of her. She's already imagining herself sitting in his lap. Oh boy, if the first Empress finds out about this, she really is planning to dump the horns on the other Empress. With that look on her face, she says just thinking about it gets her so exy. I mean, excited, folks. Excited. Resting her chin on her hand, she starts wondering, wow, what if the Empress catches us? That'd be wild. Look at our protagonist's face. My god, she's completely insane, guys. Then she stands up and declares, mistake. I made a huge mistake from the very beginning. The guards ask, what mistake, Your Majesty? What happened? I should never have let him leave my side. I want him close to me. The guards are thinking, whoa, is she saying she wants to mess around with him? But she's the mighty empress of the demonic realm. She has pure demon blood running through her veins, and she wants to be with a plain old human. The guard on the left speaks up, Your Majesty, are you messing with us? Then the empress with the giant airbags sits down and says, do you really think I'd joke about something so serious? Haven't you ever heard of love at first sight? The guards say that's not a real thing. Sayeon admits she didn't believe in it either, but now she does. The guards are in shock, trying to figure out what the heck that man did to her. Something's not right. The Empress says they'll never understand what he's like. He's not just sweet, he gets me too. Okay, yeah, no one saw that coming. On top of that, he teaches meaningful lessons. Beaming, she thinks, how long has it been since someone actually taught me a proper lesson? This feeling's amazing. You girls need to help me find him fast. We'll turn this garden into the venue for our wedding. The ladies nearby are whispering that Xiao Tian is way more dangerous than we thought. How did he manage to trap an empress, one who's never fallen for anyone, in just a day? Back at the protagonist's place, he's remembering the moment she said, I want you to take care of me. And now he's thinking, take care of? What does that even mean? Such a weird request. Linger comes over and asks, what's wrong, Prince? Sister Liu points out he hasn't eaten and must be hungry. In the next scene, our boy is being served a meal by Mr. Zhang, who's cooked up 4 special kinds of meat for him. Look at how the prince is already drooling like a big baby. He may not know a thing about martial arts, but when it comes to cooking, this guy is top tier. Everyone just stares as the chubby guy digs in. After a while, Linger asks, Your Majesty, what was bothering you earlier? Our protagonist says, please don't laugh when I tell you. Everyone has that mischievous little smirk and says, all right. Then he confesses, someone asked me to take care of her. Mr. Zhang bursts out laughing in his face. Mr. Zhang, you're laughing? He grabs him by the face. No, sir, not at all. Go on with your story. He then tells the whole thing. I told her to be independent, but she keeps trying to rely on me. Liu starts laughing right in his face. Oh, sit down, don't even try. I can see your shoulders shaking. Our protagonist stands up and says, I'm serious. My reputation is on the line here. Linger bursts into laughter. Frustrated, he says, that's enough, you're all gonna get smacked. In the next scene, everyone's got a bump on their head, and it looks like they're training. Everyone's thinking the same thing. The laziest prince alive who doesn't want to lift a finger. Talking about taking care of someone? How can I not laugh at that? Our boy leaves Linger to continue training and walks off with Sister Liu, who asks him what's bothering him. He's in full philosopher mode, saying that sometimes it's not such a bad thing to help others see the light. Who says someone from the darkness doesn't long for the light? Staring at the book in his hands, he mutters, damn it, the system's always updating. I can't even watch anime anymore. All I can do now is read some book while sitting beside the Empress. He starts thinking about the old man's story, full of contradictions, and gets curious. If none of that was true, then where did he get so many spirit stones from? Something's not adding up. Did I forget something? The Empress seems surprised. What is it? She asks. He tells her it's nothing, just thinking about some things. She changes the subject and asks, was the meat I tasted yesterday from Qingyang City? He nods. Yeah, from the mountain. That place is a treasure trove. The crops grow fast and the meat is top quality. That meat, by the way, comes from the pigs he assigned someone to raise. The Empress tells him one of Liu's subordinates, Liu being the prime minister, is complaining that the prince is setting the market prices too high because of that meat. With a smug look, he says the prices are fair. It takes a ton of work to raise those pigs, and rare things cost more anyway. I spent a fortune setting up the protective formations, buying all the ingredients, feeding them, and still had to hire people to watch over the pigs. Plus, they're all the way up in the Qingyang Mountains. So yeah, the price makes sense. If you want, Your Majesty, I could go have a little chat with them. Chat? That sounds like bullying, she replies. He throws up his hands with a dopey grin. No, I never do something like that. The Empress tells him she doesn't believe a word of it. Last time someone complained about the wine prices, they ended up getting beaten by Linger. So he quickly apologizes and admits that yeah, that was a bit of a mistake. The Empress says he'll have to be punished then. Our boy's thinking, guess I gotta take the punishment. But then the Empress gives him a sly smile. Your punishment is to go up to Qingyang Mountain, bring back one of those pigs, and have a drink with me tonight. He lights up with a big grin. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Already thinking, I knew my wife wouldn't actually punish me. I'm gonna pick the best pig and make us the perfect dinner. Then he connects the dots. Wait, pigs in Qingyang? And just like that, he remembers the beggar girl. Prince, I'm just stealing one little pig from you, you idiot. Since you won't take care of me, I'm gonna take everything for myself. Now he's fuming. Damn it, I shouldn't have gone so easy on her. Those pigs are ridiculously valuable. Even one of them could cover a comfortable life. 2, and you never have to think about money again. She asked me, the soft rice king, to take care of her. What a joke. She was just after my pigs. That conniving woman. The Empress is about to ask what's wrong, but our guy's already bolting out of there yelling that someone's stealing the pigs. She's left standing there like, stealing pigs. Back with the beggar girl, her friends are fixing up her outfit. Guys, she's really an empress through and through. And bam, our boy arrives. The airbag Empress gets all flustered. How'd he show up like this? I'm not even ready. Look at my clothes. Will they like them? But in the next panel, she's glowing with excitement. Our guy covers his mouth in disbelief. She sold all my pigs, and she's already filthy rich. The girls glance at each other, totally confused. Then he points at her. I didn't have high expectations for you, but I didn't think you'd betray my trust like this. You sold all my pigs. The crazy one is thinking, oh no, he misunderstood. He thinks I sold the pigs. But wow, he looks so good when he's angry. Fuming, he demands to know how much she sold them for. She replies, those animals weren't worth much. A concubine like me doesn't need. But our guy cuts her off and pulls out a huge green pig. A Qingyang pig sells for 100,000 notes in Yanbao City. Each one of them is worth thousands of spirit stones. The Empress tells him that kind of money is just a drop in the ocean for someone like me. Then she tells the guard to bring in the thank you gift. Whoa, check out that box full of spirit stones. Our boy's about to lose it. The girl comes up next to him and explains, there are over 1 million low-grade stones in here. Please accept them. Our guy's jaw drops. Yesterday she was a beggar and now she's throwing cash around like this. He stares at her. Something's off. Is this really that same poor girl? I mean, even if the airbags are the same size, you can't identify someone just by that. I need to take a closer look at this. She's probably trying to mess with me. He steps in closer. You're trying to trick me, aren't you? You think this is funny. Whack! He smacks her on the head. A little flustered, she shyly apologizes. And just like that, he knows. Damn it, it is her. He locks eyes with her. You? Why you? Still reeling. Yesterday she was broke and now she's throwing money around? What the hell is happening? Cutting straight to the point, she grabs his arm, sits him down and says, my name is Lu Seyuan. But he raises an eyebrow. Lu, as in, are you looking for love or something? What were your parents thinking with that name? She tells him it's a concubine's name and asks if he likes it. Our boy says it sounds nice, but he's already on his feet and walking away. The ex-beggar grabs his hand and says, I'm the eldest princess of the Jiangsu Empire and my country's in serious trouble. Her father ordered her to take the secret library and flee far away. The problem is, she doesn't have the power she needs to rebuild the nation. And the only cultivation techniques she knows require cooperation between a man and a woman. Yesterday, she was just testing him. She needs a husband she can trust completely. Someone to stand with her in the mission to restore the country. And she's convinced that he's the one. Our protagonist is already imagining things again. Damn it, I really am the soft rice king. The people of Yan, they're all prophets. She's glancing sideways, wondering to herself, did I come on too strong? Did I overdo the whole confession thing? Our guy says, sorry, but I can't help you. I'm already the prince of this nation and husband to Ju. I think it's unfair to have one man with 2 wives. Besides, the Empress is richer than you. So just take this money and go rebuild your empire. She replies, all shy, that the money in that box is nothing. She's way wealthier than the Empress. Our guy says she's underestimating Ju. She's got a treasure somewhere that holds hundreds of thousands of stones. Suddenly, a huge golden door opens with light pouring out, and our guy instantly gets it. There's billions of spirit stones in there. Looking at her all smug and full of herself, he thinks, yeah, her treasure really is bigger than the Empress's. Oh, so that explains why this beggar is so well-fed. You get the idea. He turns to her and says, "You really are richer than Zhu Huayan. But like I said, money can't fix everything. I'd rather stay right here, comfortable and happy." And then he raises his hand. She's full of anticipation, just waiting. He slowly reaches out and gives her a light tap. "You're late. Next time, don't be so dumb and flash your treasure in front of everyone." Boom. Nailed it. And just like that, she goes wild. She says that as a concubine, she's falling even harder for him. The more he turns her down, the more she wants him. Hand on his forehead, he mutters, "Damn it. I always forget this girl's got some weird traits." She steps closer and says, "Well, to start, how about we just be friends? That way, you won't get in trouble." He looks at her, confused. "Friends? What do you mean by that?" She says, "Yeah, just normal friends like anyone else. We'll keep it casual. Since I'll be taking up your time, I'll pay you $1 million a month just to talk to me." Even our guy starts sweating. $1 million? Damn, that's rich girl behavior for you, spending like it's nothing. No, I can't be bribed with money. He crosses his arms and says, "That money is for restoring your nation. You use it on me? No way. Absolutely not." But she knows how to sway him. "Brother Xiao, you love doing good for the people of Yan, don't you? But you know you can't help everyone." He replies, "What? Are you trying to lecture me now?" She says she's going to be bold and offer a suggestion. With all those millions she's offering, it'll be able to help way more people. And the ones who end up benefiting from her support might even play a role in rebuilding the kingdom of Mo later on. She presses her airbags against Xiao and says, "So, what do you think of your concubine's proposal? Isn't it thoughtful? Isn't this the perfect opportunity?" "Say yes, Brother Xiao." Our guy's thinking, $1 million just to chat. If it were a fight, I'd probably be too lazy. But if it's just some small talk, and it's gonna help the empire too. To help the empress, I guess I can let her fool me a little. So he says, "For the people of Yan, I'll accept the donation." The busty ex-beggar latches onto his arm immediately. "Then let's start talking right now." Our guy tells her to stop clinging to him like that. It's uncomfortable. He agreed to chat, that's it. Tells her not to get carried away, and warns her not to try anything funny. Unless, of course, she offers even more money. Cut to the next scene. Our protagonist heading home. One of the guys greets him, "Prince, how's everything?" He replies that it's all good, but his thoughts are still stuck on the beggar girl. "Sold myself, didn't I? I mean, $3 million a month. There's so much I could do with that. All I've got to do is scold her once in a while. Honestly, not a bad deal." Back with her. She's sitting there heartbroken, saying she already missed him the moment he left. The guards are so stunned, they don't even have faces anymore. One of them says, "It's over. The Empress is finished." Right then, two shadows appear in their garden. Oh boy, look who it is. The two geniuses of the Yan dynasty. One of them steps up and says, "Your Excellency, are you the new matriarch of the Sacred Demon Sect?" Poor son of his, about to get crushed by our protagonist once again. He's all flushed, blushing, thinking, "Holy crap, she's gorgeous. Not just her face, she's pretty stacked too." Just then, a surge of power blasts between father and son, right in the bastard's eye. The beggar-turned empress growls, "Disgusting. How dare you look at me like that?" She commands her guard, "Crush this worm." The father's already shaking in his boots. Her guard rushes in with a flying kick, but the kid manages to block it. Boom! Explosions go off everywhere. He's thrown backward. They're still going at it when he yells, "Why are you doing this? What the hell's going on?" This was supposed to be their big moment to win over the empire. Cut to the father. Now he's kneeling by his son, who's covering both eyes. And folks, I think the brat's blind. The son's screaming, "She's insane. That woman's out of her mind. What do you want from me?" She coldly asks, "Who gave you permission to come here and disturb me?" The father tries to explain. He says he came after hearing the Sacred Demon Sect was in town and wanted to meet with her. The guards jump in. "Meet with her? Your son clearly knows nothing about etiquette. He barges in unannounced and stares at our matriarchs like that. Who does he think he is? What value does he think he even has?" The old man's thinking, "Crap, I need to calm this down. We can't let our plan fall apart like this." He turns to her and pleads, "What can I do to make up for this offense? Please, name anything." The best-fed beggar I've ever seen replies, "If you want my forgiveness, it's simple. That man, Xiao Tian, the prince of your princess, he's the one I've chosen." Boom. Score another 10 points for our boy. You must assist him in every way possible. If anything happens to him, I'll destroy everyone in this pavilion. She exhales a terrifying aura, leaving the guy trembling. He's totally lost. Wait, the matriarch of the demon sect is this powerful, and she's asking me to support him. She wants me to help that brat Xiao Tian. I was wrong, he's not just some random guy. He's a demon sent to this world. Sure, he's kind of good looking, and sometimes he seems like a decent person that draws others in. Smack. He slaps his own face. What am I thinking? I'm losing it. That guy's a menace. This dude's losing it, right? Let's get him out of here and let our boy enjoy life with his wafus. Meanwhile, the busty beggar says, "Stowe, have you made up your mind yet? Desperate measures like that won't work on me." He finally says he'll help. She tells him, "Xiao Tian can't know. If I lose the man I want, you already know what the consequences will be." Then she picks up her useless son and turns to leave. Damn it. This is the biggest problem I've faced since becoming prime minister. Now I've got to go around smiling at Xiaotian like everything's fine. This rebellious son of mine almost ruined years of planning. She throws the poor guy on the ground and says, if I had more time, I'd kill you and regenerate you. If you just stopped getting involved in things, you wouldn't cause me so many problems. Whoa, but the son's down there thinking, soon enough, I'll kill him. What a lovely, healthy family. So full of love, and who's once again thinking about putting horns on the Empress's head. That demon beggar woman. As soon as he finds out what I did behind the scenes, he'll throw himself into my arms without hesitation. On that day, the Empress Royan might even accept becoming a concubine. The guard watching from a distance is thinking, she's hopeless. She doesn't even know what's going through her own head anymore. Night falls and our boy is lying in bed, wide awake. He's got more dark circles than L from Death Note. He's grumbling. Damn it, where's my system? I can't sleep without my little anime. That's when, bam, the Great Master System's finally done upgrading. Chio goes, finally about time. He starts glowing with aura. Mister, you need any assistance right now? Suddenly, a very well-endowed system assistant appears on screen. Our boy's pale and trembling, pointing and asking, System, is that you? She answers, yes, master. How did you end up like this? She explains that as his servant, her form is tied to his body. This is the automatic form she took. And the outfit, she says it's based on his preferences. Our guy keeps pointing and shouts, that makes no sense. When would I ever have that kind of hobby? This system's ruining my innocence for no reason. Then he mutters, whatever, let's sleep. Activate my sleep mode. Good night, she says. Okay, and starts the process while he side-eyes her. As she fades, he casually mutters, I prefer black tights, by the way. And look at that, the system immediately changes. I'll do whatever you say, master. Now that's a proper system. She activates sleep assistance, shielding him from spiritual attacks and even nightmares. A bunch of falling rain starts coming down, but since the barrier draws on his energy, nothing gets through. Then the system gently says, sleep well, master. All the meteors strike, but nothing breaks in. The system realizes these are memories and nightmares from the protagonist's past. Did he bring all of this over from Earth? She glances at one of the memories. There's our boy running around with a kitten. A voice announces, Lu Tian, age 9, rank 27. Zhu Tian, age 10, 8th place. Xiao Tian, age 6, number 1. One kid nearby asks, this kid is 6? 6 years old on what? Trembolone? Then he feeds his pet, and suddenly it becomes massive. That's when Leader Fuster, Xiao Tian's father, shows up. Little Xiao Tian salutes him, saying he's doing his best. His dad says, good, you won't disappoint me, right? If you want a reward, just say it. I'll bring it to you. But our little guy says no. Then the dad asks, so if this dog, you trained it yourself? Xiao nods. Yeah, he's well-behaved and smart. With enough training, he'll be number 1. Oh no, I can feel something bad coming. The father says, you clearly care about him a lot. It's the first time I've heard you speak so many words at once. What's his name? The boy answers, Wang Kai. He's my buddy. Right then, Wang jumps up and starts licking his chin. The dad then says, Xiao Tian, even though you're young, it's time I give you your first mission. Yup, I knew it. Here comes the bomb. Our boy goes, yes, sir. The dad hands him a loaded pistol and says, kill him, pointing at Wang. Guys, I'm about to dive into this story just to end this psycho dad. He wants him to kill Wang Kai. Get out of here, you lunatic. Suddenly, the memory shatters. Seems like our protagonist was sad. Don't worry, my boy. You can stay lazy now. You'll never have to go through that again. The current Wang Kai, the system, says, well, I really like that name. Dear master. Next morning, our protagonist wakes up yawning, still half tired. He's got to head to the main hall to discuss plans with the ministers. He wants to build an orphanage, but he still needs the Empress's approval. Honestly, if it weren't for the others insisting, he wouldn't even show up. He'd just hand over the money and call it a day. Everyone greets him respectfully, and there he goes, casually yawning and mumbling about how sleepy he is. The Prime Minister spots the prince and asks, ah, Prince, did you sleep well last night? I have some incense at home that calms the mind. I could bring you some. The guards nearby are stunned, mouths hanging open. Even Xiao Tian is in shock. He points at the guy and says, you think I don't know? That incense of yours is probably some kind of poison to kill me. Now he's fuming. This Prime Minister is getting bolder by the day. Should I just kill him already? Damn, but there are too many people around. Not worth it. Calm down, Xiao Tian. He's important to the Empire. I kill him, and I'll just have more work to do. Forget it. Fine. Meanwhile, the old man's thinking, poison you. You bastard. If it weren't for that crazy woman, I'd show you what real death looks like. But out loud, he says, Prince, I think you misunderstood. I truly just want to care for someone as important as you, and gives a big old thumbs up. Some of the things you've been doing lately really showed me what kind of person you are. Truly, you are the soft rice god. That title belongs to you. Our boy is stunned, thinking, damn it, he yelled out my title in public, that bastard. Everyone around starts chuckling. Oh, you jerk, you're dead. Later on, the conference ends and everyone starts leaving. The Empress turns to the protagonist and asks, why was the Prime Minister so supportive of you? Did you do something recently? She's wondering, could it be the Prime Minister's finally realized how important Xiao Tian is to this dynasty? He says he was just as surprised by the guy's support. His attitude changed overnight. Then adds, Your Majesty, you should have seen the smile he gave me when he saw me. Mr. Zhang and his wife are just as confused, not understanding what's going on. Our boy sighs, All right, I gotta go, it's getting late. And he bolts out, yelling, Majesty, I'll come back later to keep you company. Mr. Zhang shouts, What's going on, Prince? Where are you off to? What do you want to eat, my boy? The protagonist yells back, I'm going to make money, and I'm not coming back for food. The two of them stare at each other like, Money? Make? Him? Aha. The Empress assumes it must be a little side cash she gave him. Well, I guess that's it, right? But he's already planning to open an orphanage and help a ton of people. She's going to need to come up with a reason to start giving him more money. Our protagonist is writing in his journal, September 15. Weather was good. Breakfast at the palace was terrible as usual. This morning I visited Sai Yuan. She wanted to bathe in the hot springs. There's nothing I could do. It's not wrong since the money's going toward good causes. Sai Yuan, of course, said, My lord, you'll catch a cold bathing with clothes on. Then she clung to him and added, Your nose is bleeding. He told her not to worry about him. Just enjoy your bath. He writes that the sauna was large, steamy, and very white. Okay, if you know, you know. September 16. Met the Prime Minister today. He kept cracking jokes to try to make me laugh. Something about him feels off. Oh, it's Sai Yuan pretended she twisted her ankle so he'd give her a massage. Could you help me out? I'll pay you for your hard work. He's grumbling like, Damn it, looks like I've got more work to do. Later, he handed money to Mr. Zhang, who was confused as hell. How the heck is this kid bringing in 5 million every day? By the 17th, our guy was completely exhausted. Poor thing, he's been overworking himself. This life is getting rough. Sai Yuan was already saying, Brother, come inside. It's cold and rainy out here. But he said no, they'd stay right there. He's thinking, damn it, Sai Yuan's making way too much progress. How is this happening? She just started cuddling him. I think I need to teach her a lesson. She's been pushing it lately. And people, I can't believe this lesson our boy gave the well-fed beggar. While he was disciplining her, she told him he needed to work harder. He knew she was doing it on purpose. He didn't like it one bit, so he blackmailed her with it and gave even more money to Zhang, who now wants to build a massive orphanage. That night, the Empress was furious about court matters. And after she got drunk, only the prince could calm her down and help her rest. 18th of the calendar. Look at him waking up, drooling, while she's just staring at him. Our protagonist told Sai Yuan what happened, and she kicked him. He was all confused. What the heck? Why'd she get mad about me drooling in my sleep? Next thing he knows, she grabs him and plants a big kiss. He tried dodging, but she was too quick and landed it. Then she got even madder when she found out that wasn't his first kiss. Now he's got to take her for a walk up King Wan Mountain. Good thing, though, he'll get a look at the pigs. Heh. Not exactly a loss for him. Scene cuts to Xiao Tian staring down a massive pig, more like a dinosaur than anything else. That thing is huge. He says the place looks incredible, but Sai Yuan keeps glancing around with serious expression. Still, nothing to worry about. Back at home again, he sleeps and drools next to his wife. He wakes up and eats. He's starving. Palace life is treating him well. At night, the Empress arrives, bottle in hand. Our boy says, Empress, let's get some sleep. I think you're tired. But she steps closer. He tells her she's been drinking too much. That's not okay. She says that lately, she'll be drinking a lot, and her prince just needs to stay by her side a little longer. She says she enjoys being drunk. Next chapter starts with Sai Yuan dumping a ton of coins in his lap. Our guy says, this is way too much. What's this supposed to mean? She says she doesn't just want to talk today. He has to go with her to the mountains and admire the view, while holding her hand. The protagonist tells her to stop talking nonsense. Didn't she hear what he said yesterday? She goes, Brother Xiao, aren't all your actions for the people of Yan City? He remembers the orphanage and says, fine, left hand or right. But I'm telling you now, you're not allowed to hug me. Up in the mountains, he mutters, I've got to get back soon for lunch with the Empress. Sai Yuan asks, why go back to her? Why not stay a bit longer with me? The prince reminds her she knows how things are. He will return. Meanwhile, on top of another mountain, an old man watches the Empress cultivating. Looks like her power is reaching an advanced stage. Problem is, this kind of maturation follows the laws of heaven and earth. There's no way to rush it. The white-haired old man is Zhu Tianji, and he can see people's fate. The Prime Minister says there's no way the Empress can grow any stronger. But Tianji replies, you can't even see other people's futures, so why are you giving your opinion? World's best dad over here starts yelling. That old man's a bastard. But Tianji calmly brags, you might be stronger than me, but all of us sealed our cultivation bases. So why would I be afraid of you? The two of them are watching the Empress, commenting that something's off. She's always been powerful, royal bloodline and all. But even for her, this kind of progress is unnatural. Something strange is going on. In the past few weeks, she's gained a whole year's worth of cultivation. Why? Well, clearly there's some benefit to sleeping beside her favorite lazy boy. Tianji is gritting his teeth. I don't know what's going on. That's when one of Sai Yuan's guards shows up. Tianji asks, is that the matriarch? No, someone says. Just one of her guards. Tianji's already annoyed. If the matriarch is here, why isn't she the one meeting us? What could possibly be more important than this? The guard answers, she's entertaining some special guests. No time. That's why I'm handling this. The Prime Minister knows exactly who she's with. Damn that well-fed beggar. She's off somewhere with that arrogant prince. They talk about how powerful the innate embryo growth is, but the Tianju Pavilion has never seen anything like it before, so they don't know if it's a good or bad sign. Tianji says he's got all the info he needs and bam, he vanishes. The guard tosses something to the Prime Minister and says, the matriarch said she's pleased with how you've been treating Xiao Tian, so she's sending this as a reward. He asks, what's this? She answers, it's a cure for your son's eyes. Oh, and she wanted me to mention, Xiao Tian said you've been grinning at him like a pervert. Try acting a bit more normal. He nearly has a heart attack. Damn it. What the hell is that brat saying? Well, let's be honest, man, you were having some weird thoughts. Scene cuts to our boy in a hot spring bath with a beggar girl. He sneezes. Huh, someone must be bad-mouthing me. She says it's because he's wearing too many clothes in a hot sauna. The cold air is chilling your body. You should listen to your concubine and take everything off. Our guy crosses his arms and says, no way, not happening. You're not taking advantage of me, no matter the price. Besides, if I take off my clothes and someone walks in, I won't be able to explain that. But the water's getting colder. He says, weird. Why is it freezing in here? She glances to the side and grabs him by the hair. Sai Yuan smirks. Oh dear husband, aren't you afraid of freezing him to death? Luo, look who's here. The Empress bursts in, kicking the door wide open. Linger's sister Liu watch the prince, because I'm about to kill someone. The busty beggar grins and says, my, the Empress is furious today. Are you sure you've got what it takes? The Empress says, doesn't matter. I just need to know the truth. Shu picks out a jutsu straight out of Naruto and dashes forward, slashing a massive arc of power. But the beggar counters with a purple aura swirling around her leg and strikes back, saying, that's all you've got. Take this thigh smash. Oof, this fight is wild. Damn, the beggar's flexible. Took me a second, but yep, she blocked it with her leg. And she's still saying it's easy. Both women charge up their auras and lock eyes. The Empress slashes again, the other one kicks, beautifully by the way. Their powers collide, the ground erupts. Sister Liu and Linger are just barely holding on, already bracing themselves. Prince, you're screwed, my guy. If Her Majesty hits you later, please show mercy. Linger adds, please. Meanwhile, our boy's just standing there, brain buffering, trying to decide what to do. Next chapter flashes back to a few minutes earlier when the three women were on their way there. Linger tells her, Your Majesty, the hot springs aren't far now. It's a remote place, but the quality is excellent. You trained a lot this morning. You should relax. The Empress thanks her. That's when they hear the prince's voice saying, none of you are gonna fight me, right? The Empress pauses. Wait, isn't that the prince's voice? The two look at each other, faces blank. Didn't he say he was going off to make money? The Empress mutters. No, I must have misheard. Oh, but then they catch the scene, right as the beggar throws herself at our guy. Luckily, they see him reject her, shaking his head like, nope. But still, the Empress is fuming. Who is this woman daring to steal my man? You think she'd be mad at him, but nope. Our boy held his ground and turned the beggar down. Back in the present, Linger asks, Prince, didn't you say you went off to make money? Why? Our boy goes, I am making money, okay. Where do you think all the cash I'm giving your dad is coming from? Story jumps back a few days, about that person who asked him to take care of her. The two women burst out laughing. What's so funny? They say, no, we're just laughing at this amazing fight. Do you think Her Majesty's gonna win? Who knows? Our guy already knows. They're laughing again just because I'm the soft rice king. With the most innocent face ever, he goes, I'm making money, you know. Why are you laughing? They drop to the ground, rolling with laughter. One of them says, oh, Prince, so now you're making money. What next? You gonna tell us you're working hard too? Damn it. Back to the epic duel. Sai Yuan says to the Empress, your strength is solid and your moves are sharp. Unfortunately, today, you won't be able to kill me. The Empress says she thought Sai Yuan was just a regular person. Didn't expect you to have those kinds of abilities. But Xiao Tian is my husband, so I suggest you don't get any funny ideas. Of course, the Empress is a very busy woman running the empire, so I don't mind if you pour in tea or fetch in water. Sai Yuan smirks. Don't worry, I'm a well-behaved concubine. Unlike the Empress, who waits for him to fall asleep just to steal kisses. Oof, now our boy's in trouble. The Empress shoots him a deadly glare. Oh, how's he getting out of this one? Everyone nearby is just frozen in shock. The Empress calmly says, if I wanted a kiss, I wouldn't wait for him to fall asleep. I just take one whenever I wanted. It's just, I like it when he's asleep. The other two girls are covering their faces like, Your Majesty. That explanation just made it so much worse. Trying to earn points, the prince says, well, that little kiss was a nice surprise. The two ladies are like, this prince, he's not normal. No way to predict what he's gonna say next. Sai Yuan fires back, she's just a cheap woman taking advantage of him. But the Empress replies, taking advantage? Please. Xiao Qian is my husband. I sleep next to him every night. What do you think about that? The beggar's not having it. She instantly activates her possessed beggar plus form. way more powerful now and definitely more well-fed. She locks eyes with the Empress and unleashes a brutal vertical slash. Our favorite Empress raises a barrier, but it shatters immediately. The beggar is already descending, scythe glowing with a dark, evil aura. Will our prince have to step in and stop this? Sai Yuan announces, I'm already in the 10th realm. The Empress is still in the 9th. She can't beat me. Boom, a massive explosion erupts. Our favorite draws a giant sword and fires off a flurry of ice stones. The supercharged beggar blocks with a barrier. That's all you've got, she mocks. And then she charges in again. You don't deserve to have Xiao Tian by your side. She kicks her with a wave of energy. Oh no, our favorite is getting wrecked. Poor girl's hurting, someone get in there. Xiao Tian. She's groaning, saying she took a hit right to her internal organs. But she's got to hang in there. She's not about to let anyone take Xiao Tian from her. She unleashes another flurry of ice attacks. Now you'll see why I deserve him. Man, this fight is intense. The other one, Sai Yuan, follows up with a barrage of purple slashes. Explosions go off, smoke fills the air. Our favorite crashes to the ground a little worn out. And then suddenly, Sai Yuan goes all soft. She realizes the Empress has serious potential, but her spiritual body is damaged. So she decides she'll beat her down first, then help her purify her energy. That'll help her ascend to the next level. It's her compensation for stealing Xiao Tian. After all, someone like the Empress doesn't deserve to die here. She launches a brutal kick, boom, and sends our girl flying. Sister Liu and Linger want to jump in and help Her Majesty, but the protagonist stops them. Trust her. My wife isn't the kind of woman who gives up easily. She won't fall like this. The girls are like, the prince is really confident. He nods. Let's just watch. There she is, battered but still stunning. Our guy's thinking, wife, I believe in you. Don't lose. Sai Yuan steps forward again. Why don't you just give up already? You're going to die. The Empress responds, in a way, I understand how you feel. When you look at Xiao Tian's back, you can tell he's been through a lot. But his face, he always puts on that playful grin when he faces others, and he always smiles like an idiot. Whoa, wasn't expecting that emotional moment. Sai Yuan remembers, when they walked through the mountains together, she could always see that lonely air behind him. She admits to the Empress, I like it when he argues with me. And then she smiles. The Empress blushes, remembering the night Xiao Tian cooked for her. Her world, which had always been dark and empty, was finally lit up by his smile. And boom, here it comes. Golden aura starts glowing around her. She's evolving right before our eyes. Everyone's in total shock. Our protagonist, he knows what's happening. Sai Yuan realizes it too. She just reached the 10th rank. Holy, look at how insane our Empress looks now. Sai Yuan even has to summon her full aura. The Empress glares at her. He's my husband, and I won't let you take him from me. Man, this might be the first manhwa I've ever seen, where women level up just to fight over the male lead. Sister Liu asks, Prince, is that why you stopped us? You knew this would happen. Our boy says, I just knew Sai Yuan was helping her a bit, but I have no clue what that battle armor is. He's thinking, could this be some kind of connection to the Yang dynasty? Linger's confused. Wait, Sai Yuan helped her advance. He goes, just watch closely. Then he turns around and walks off. There's something I need to do. Back up in the sky, the fight's raging on, but neither of the girls can even process what they're seeing anymore. Our prince shows up again, gently rubbing his wrist, and asks for a handkerchief. Linger asks, Prince, why is Sai Yuan helping her ascend? He explains she's been absorbing too much energy lately. Her body was overfilled. I mean, she is overfilled. I agree. I figured Sai Yuan wanted to win a fight, but also help her release all that spiritual energy, sort of like paying her back for trying to steal her prince. Linger standing there, hand on chin. Wow, even after leveling up, this is still a wild fight. She notices the protagonist wiping blood from his hands. She asks, whose blood is that? He says this whole clash drew in 27 people, all from the sacred realm. The girls ask, what did you do? He says, while you were all looking up, I moved at supersonic speed and took care of them. I was so fast, I ended up getting my hands a little messy. Then the system chimes in, Master, calm down. You're not on Earth anymore, where your father sent assassins after you just for training. You can relax here. Our boy apologizes. Sorry, got a little carried away. He tosses the cloth to the system and thanks Wan Kai for calming him down. The system hugs him. Everything I do is for you, my master. Meanwhile, Liu and Linger are trying to figure out how they're even going to stop this madness. The Empress is riding a golden dragon, swinging massive swords. Boom! She slices straight through the beggar's stomach, but the beggar just asks, why didn't you dodge? Oh snap, it was an illusion. She's behind her now. Were you scared you might hurt me? She slashes, don't touch me. Then she stares at the airbag and says, you're way too small. The Empress counters with a clean slash. I'm not Linger, she's the small one. Our protagonist coughs. Both girls are completely destroyed. He's thinking, oh no, she can't find out. The person she respects most just said the most fatal thing of all. The fight rages on, powers clashing and exploding everywhere. Good thing both of them are decked out in heavy armor to take the hits. Our boy notices. They're both running low on energy now. At this point, they're barely trading insults. Liu says she's worried this fight might start causing more unnecessary trouble. Our guy starts stretching. All right, it's time I step in and stop these two. Ma'am, you can't do anything. If the Empress finds out your little secret, you're screwed. Both women sense it. The prince, he's about to reveal this terrifying strength. He clears his throat and yells, "Stop fighting, right now." They both pause mid-air, mouths slightly open. Did you really think he could stop them just by saying that? But up in the sky, the two of them are still going at it, throwing attacks with laser focus. He yells again, "Stop it now. I don't want any more fighting." And then, he fake trips, dramatically falling backward. Linger screams, "Xiao Tian," and there he goes, collapsing toward the ground. And yep, the Empress swoops in to save him. Look at this guy's smug little face. So soft and warm, perfect landing. They're still fighting over who gets to keep him. Meanwhile, he's being a total goof. You're both amazing. I'll buy a gift for each of you, okay? The Empress, plop, drops him flat on the ground. After what you pulled in that sauna, don't even think about coming home tonight. Sister Liu, let him stay at your place. Liu's face goes blank. But my house is falling apart. Now he's back in Sai Yuan's arms. Your Majesty, what about the soup we were going to have tonight? She coldly replies, I'll be drinking it alone. He turns to Sai Yuan. So, about your place. She drops him too. Oh right, I just remembered. I'm so busy tonight. I won't be able to entertain you, Prince Xiao. You always choose the Empress first. Well, guess what? I don't want you either. The Empress glances back. Let's all head back to the Imperial Palace. Prince, you're not allowed back in the bedroom tonight. Hoof. Both of them walked away. Linger and Liu are just standing there watching. Yep, you're screwed this time, Prince. Cut to next scene. Our guy's lying on a futon at Sister Liu's house. The system softly chimes in. Dear Master, would you like sleep assistance? He declines. Nah, I feel like staying up late tonight. But then, click. Someone opens the door and walks in. Oh, yep, that's the Empress. Wait, is she blonde now? She sees him lying there and thinks, sleeping so peacefully, huh? Looks like he really wasn't planning to come home tonight. Our boy's grinning to himself. Thank goodness I didn't turn on sleep mode. Is the Empress about to steal another kiss? I'm on the edge of my seat. She gets close, wondering. He looks like he's asleep. But what if he's faking it? She's got an idea, summons a table full of fresh, aromatic food. She leans in close. Still nothing. He really might be sleeping. The smell hits him. She backs up quickly. Oh no, what excuse am I gonna use now? He sits up, rubbing his mouth. Wait, why am I drooling again? He sniffs the air. Why does it smell like food in here? The Empress, trying to play it cool, says, Now I understand why you drool. You must be dreaming about certain things. He goes, Maybe. But wait, what are you doing here in my room? She's just sitting there staring at him like he's adorable. She sits at the table and says, I didn't want to come, but I couldn't leave you like this, Nether. I'm not that stubborn, but you still need to be punished. Tonight, you'll be feeding me dinner. Oh, so that's the punishment? Our guy's like, hey, sounds good to me. Very well, Your Majesty. I'll make sure you're well fed. He leans in. She asks, why are you sitting so close? He answers, Majesty, it's more convenient to be by your side. And he accidentally drops a bit of food. The Empress blushes. I get it now. He picks up the spoon, gently blows on the food, and feeds her. Grinning, he asks, is it good? She replies, I'll let you know after another bite. She wants more. He happily feeds her again, tossing in some extra dishes for good measure. Suddenly, oops, he drops the chopsticks. You're up to something, aren't you? I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I'm just so clumsy. I lost the chopsticks. Can't even handle something that simple. She tells him, it's not a big deal. Don't beat yourself up over it. He pauses. How am I going to feed you now? Oh, I have an idea. I can pass it from my mouth to yours. I'm a genius. What? Next scene. Yep, they're really doing it. And here I thought she was gonna refuse. She's sitting there, clearly nervous, thinking, he didn't do that on purpose, did he? Wasn't it just to feed me with his mouth? Oh, he definitely meant it. Our boy's a number 10, a striker in every sense. He even asks, Your Majesty, was it delicious? She replies, it was normal. But deep down, she's thinking, if that was him doing it on purpose, it felt way better than when he tries to be sneaky. This woman is unstoppable. They sit together, looking up at the moon, which is beautiful tonight. They settle in to eat a little more. And then, who shows up? Sai Yuan enters the scene. Brother Xiao, oh concubine, I brought you some wine. The second she steps in, the tension fills the room. They both glance at each other. Neither one is happy the other's here. Before long, the air gets heavy. Both of them puff their chests out, staring each other down, pressing those airbags forward. Words start flying. One insults the other. Frustration bubbling. Sai Yuan clings to our boy and throws shade. How strange, didn't the Empress ban Xiao from entering the palace tonight? So the real reason you stuck him here in exile was just to come meet him behind everyone's back. The Empress fires right back. That's still better than people who sneak around in the middle of the night trying to steal someone else's man. Sai Yuan tries to play innocent. As far as I know, aren't you the one using him as a political shield because you refused to marry the Prime Minister's son? The Empress points directly at her. Shield or not, the moment he entered the palace, he became my man. From birth until death. Damn, there's no way out for our boy. Not that he wants one. The Empress even smacks Sae-Yuan's assets, saying, "You keep flashing those around just to get attention, don't you?" Sae-Yuan snaps, ready to go off. "You want to go? Let's go." She lunges forward, trying to grab hers. Meanwhile, our boy's standing back, watching all like, "Incredible. My life is amazing." Sae-Yuan finally sighs. "If we keep fighting like this, we'll never get anywhere." The Empress goes, "Then what do you want?" Sae-Yuan smirks. "Fighting won't solve it. Let's settle this with wine." "Got the guts for that, Your Majesty." The Empress raises her hand confidently. "You think I'm afraid of you? Let's go." Bam. Challenge accepted. Both women slap their hands down on the table, raise their cups. Wine splashes everywhere. They both glance back and stare straight at the protagonist. Now I get it. They want him to serve them drinks. Of course. So now our poor guy who hates working is running back and forth. Pour a little here, pour a little there. The Empress, already tipsy, blurts out, "My evil melons aren't sweet." "Yeah, she actually said that." Sae-Yuan smirks. "Well, if you've never tasted them, how would you know? What is going on here?" They're exchanging looks, all flirty and competitive. Neither expected the other to be this good at drinking. "One more round? Bring it." Sae-Yuan raises the stakes. "This time, let's mix it up. We each perform a technique. Whoever messes up, drinks." The blonde nods. "Let's do it." Cut to our guys sitting on the roof while they duke it out in the sky. One punch. Gulp. A knee to the ribs, another gulp. The pile of empty pots below is growing. He's watching worried now. These two drank way too much, and that wine she brought had some kick to it. He glances toward a tree. The two women are now sitting beneath it, side by side, crying. The Empress sobs, "My parents disappeared, and you have the nerve to try to take Xiao Tian from me?" Sae-Yuan wipes her tears. "At least yours might still be alive. Mine fought each other to the death. I had to give Xiao Tian away." The Empress mumbles, "My brother died." Sae-Yuan, "All my brothers are gone." Okay, wow. These two have lived some rough lives. Can't they just split Xiao Tian 50-50ths? I mean, everyone wins, especially him. Back to the drama. The Empress gently pats Sae-Yuan's shoulder. "You really went through more than I did." She hugs her. Our protagonist is just standing there, confused. What the heck is happening right now? Did this just turn into a tragic bonding scene? He walks down and scoops both of them up, mumbling, "Man, these two are a mess." He throws them on the bed. "But now I have to clean this whole place up. I'm tired too, you know." He opens the system and dumps everything inside. Woo, all done. He returns to the room. Both women are already snoozing away. Our boy, looking soft and sweet, or maybe just stunned. Next morning, they wake up super relaxed. Both slept soundly, all snuggled up together. Wait a second, was that a kiss? Yep, totally caught off guard. They both freak out and spit to the side. Sae-Yuan screams, "You disgusting thief. I knew you were a kiss bandit." The Empress growls back, "You were the one who stole the kiss, not me." The tension's back. They're ready to fight again, until our little hero walks in. Already full of energy this early, huh? He catches them both staring him down and instantly backs out. "Okay, I'm making breakfast. Peace." Sae-Yuan says, "He looks so adorable when he looks at me like that." The Empress scoffs, "You idiot. He was looking at me, not you." Sae-Yuan scoffs and says, "Wow, you're really confident to think he was actually looking at your buns." The Empress snaps, turning with fire in her eyes, "I'm gonna punch you." Meanwhile, our boy's just chilling by the door, admiring the two of them fighting over him like it's the best soap opera he's ever seen. Cut to a bit later. Everyone's having breakfast. Just some good old instant noodles for the girls. They're slurping it up, loving it, saying he's just as good as Mr. John. He gets all flustered. "Oh no, just a little. I'd only made it to please you both." The Empress asks, "If you're so good at it, then why don't you cook more often?" He shrugs. Food made by someone else always tastes better. Sae-Yuan starts devouring like she hasn't eaten in days. He shouts, "Hey, chill. There's plenty of food." She just yells back, "I want it." The Empress starts scarfing it down too. They're totally competing. Our clueless prince just stares at them blankly, thinking, why do they have to compete at everything? Then suddenly, the Empress remembers everything Sae-Yuan said, that she has no parents, no siblings, no one. So she goes, "Well, since you're all alone, why don't you come live with us in the palace?" Our protagonist short circuits. Wait, what? She was the one all jealous a moment ago, and now she's inviting her in? Sae-Yuan looks suspicious. "Are you pitying me now?" The Empress snaps, "Pity you? Please. Why would I pity a cow? I just know that if you're outside the palace, you'll find ways to seduce the prince. At least this way, if you're around, you can't do anything behind my back." Our boy's got his hand to his head. "Oh, Majesty, you're not ready for what's coming." Sae-Yuan grins. "In that case, I won't be shy. I accept." The Empress goes, "Come on in then. What do you think? I'm scared of something. If I were that insecure, I wouldn't be Empress of this empire." They bicker a little more. Another round of chest-to-chest clashing. Our boy looks over to the system. "You recording this?" The system goes, "Bro, I've been recording since yesterday. You think I don't know you by now." He pulls the girls apart. "All right, enough. Time to stop fooling around. Go do something useful. Get to work." Sae-Yuan speaks up. "There's something I need to tell the Empress." She explains, the name 3,000 realms is just a concept. There are actually far more than that. And some of those realms, the ones where natural laws are broken, become unstable. The energy gets chaotic and no civilization can survive there. Those are the desolate domains. The Yan'an Desert, what you thought was just a wasteland, used to be under the control of the so-called Great Yan Empire. But all that history is fake. Empress freezes. Fake. Doesn't matter. I still have to be empress of this land to protect the people. Sai Yuan grabs her. You really are something else. Staying so calm like that? You really are worthy of sharing the man I'm trying to steal. The empress snarls, you filthy thief, I'll kill you. Sai Yuan lets out a soft little ow and collapses dramatically into the empress's chest. She starts talking about her past. Her country's been in civil war since she was born, 20 years. Her brothers and sisters all tried to kill her to take the throne, but she fought back and won. The empress feels a wave of sympathy. She's 22, just like her. But Sai Yuan's already had to kill family and watch her entire country fall apart. Still, as she looks at those mountains, she wonders, how can those be so big when she's only a month older than me? Sai Yuan then shares his story. There was this ancient training ground where generations trained. One day, they killed a dragon and found a crystal inside its head. Inside that crystal was a baby, and that baby grew up to become the empress's father. Now the empress starts feeling uneasy. Xiao Qian had mentioned something about her father's backstory being weird too. No one could get the baby out of the crystal at first, but when the innate embryo began to awaken, the crystal began to melt. So the three great factions, the demonic clan, Dong Yuan Empire, and the Pavilion, they each took on a role. The demonic clan provided laws, the Pavilion made the plans, and Dong Yuan Empire sent people to build a fake life and create the dynasty the child would rule. After placing him in a village, that fake life began. Sai Yuan pulls her even closer. You get it? Your father's life is a lie. Then she says, that embryo, it wasn't supposed to appear for another 60 years, but this one's coming fast. The empress asks, where is it? Sai Yuan looks her in the eyes. It's in you, obviously. Suddenly, the ring on her finger starts glowing and a statue appears in her hand. It's the innate jade. When the time comes, it'll absorb all the destiny energy of this nation. The empress asks, so what happens then? Sai Yuan explains, if that really goes down, everyone in the dynasty will die, leaving you as a lonely empress, ruling over ruins. The second option is to fight back against that fate, but to probably die trying to protect your people. Then the empress asks, if the dragon was in that desert land, where's the body now? Sai Yuan points off into the distance and says, the dragon's body melted and covered the whole Qingyang mountain region. She says Shou's probably already noticed something strange. Cue our boy strolling in. Ah, so that's why all the pigs turned into dragon pigs. Chicken dragons, fish dragons, yo, smack. He slaps Sai Yuan on the head. Why didn't you explain that earlier, woman? The empress then asks, do you know what happened to my father and my two brothers? Sai Yuan tells her that, according to the records, her father is alive, and it was her mother who saved him. The empress blinks. My mother. Sai Yuan explains that at some point, her father began seeing through the fake illusion of the dynasty. Right as things were about to escalate, a mysterious hand reached out of nowhere and pulled both of them away. Apparently, that power was related to her mother. Most likely, the two of them are living together now. Then they glance over and notice the prince, totally zoning out, drooling. What are you staring at? He says, I was just thinking about this pavilion you mentioned. This is straight up cruelty. How can someone manipulate a person's entire life like that? Then he turns to the empress and softly says, Your Majesty, don't stress too much. Your father managed to break free from being controlled and used for so long. But what he's really thinking is, damn, they built a whole fake dynasty just so the guy could live a cozy rice-eating life. No wonder he doesn't even bother with his daughter anymore. Why can't I meet a normal woman like her dad? I'm stuck with these lunatics. The two women just stare at each other. What's his deal? I dunno. The prince keeps musing. I've got two women funding my whole life, so why do I still feel like such a bum? Wait, got it. He walks over to the empress and goes, my wife, she's just not strong enough. The empress stares blankly. Huh, what's the problem? Xiao Tian? He goes, you know what they say, you need to be strong to strike metal. He assumes she already figured this all out, that she let Sai Yuan into their lives to train with her, so she could grow stronger. He winks. Your Majesty, you really thought this through, didn't you? The empress is just lost. Wait, what? I thought it through. Thought what through? She coughs awkwardly and says, so, after my dad vanished, I became his replacement, huh? Sai Yuan nods. Yeah, it was supposed to be one of your brothers, but neither of them awakened the dynasty's power. You did 4 years ago, and funny enough, I almost died 4 years ago too, when I took the throne. The prince pauses. 4 years ago? That's when I almost died too. The empress gasps. What happened in your kingdom? He explains. It was a miserable day. Pouring rain. I was being hunted down. I'd already been slashed multiple times. Then some girl saved me. And weirdly, the people chasing me couldn't see me anymore. Even though I was soaking wet, stuck in an alley. No way they missed me. The empress asks what she looked like. Sai Yuan interrupts. Wait, just tell me. Did that girl become important to you? The prince shakes his head. No, she disappeared like a ghost. I just find it strange that all three of us nearly died that same year. Also, her hair was silver, super rare. And the most unforgettable thing about her were her eyes. They were beautiful, just like yours. Bit of a random compliment there, buddy. Then he adds, and her eyebrows had this unique charm, like Sai Yuan's. The two girls blush. Oh please, he's just spouting nonsense to flatter us. Realizing what he said, the prince slaps his own forehead. Wait, no, I wasn't trying to flatter you. That girl really had your eyes, and your eyebrows. The girls grab him. You deserve a reward after all you've been through. The Empress nearly has a heart attack, tongue out, screaming at Sai Yuan to let him go. And once again, they're brawling. Xiao just calls out, system. Yes, sir. Already recording. Xiao just say, nice. 5 stars for you. The two girls had been arguing all day until the protagonist finally asked, system, is there a way I can help them get stronger? The system replied that if his intentions were genuine, he could influence their growth, but it depends on the soul connection he has with each person. Then it pulled up a chart showing the level of soul affinity with everyone around him. The protagonist blinked in disbelief. Wait, why does Mr. Zhang have a 90% score? What kind of man has that much spiritual connection with me? The system explained that the percentage increases with the amount of time spent together, and it revealed that the reason the Empress had been improving so much lately was simply because she was always near him. He glanced sideways. Yep, the girls were still bickering. Meanwhile, his mind wandered back to those 3 mysterious figures who'd created a fake world for her father. Could I really destroy them, he muttered. The system told him that he could, but only if he went back in time, which meant he'd have to jump to another world entirely. Our boy sighed. Damn, those guys have been plotting this stuff for over a century. Weird how none of them have come after me yet, huh? Maybe they think I'm invincible. Right then, the two women kicked off another round of their eternal feud, started drinking again, and ended up passed out. Just then, Linger and Sister Liu arrived. Apparently, the protagonist had called them over. He turned and said, come on, hurry, get in here. As soon as they walked in and saw the 2 unconscious girls, Linger gasped, whoa, Prince, you're wild, huh? But K, he smacked her on the head. Shut it. What kind of nonsense are you thinking? Sister Liu, more composed, got it right away. You called us to watch over them, didn't you? Exactly, he said. If anything happens, use this J to contact me. Linger squinted. Where are you going this late, Prince? He brushed it off. Nothing serious, just a quick errand. Don't tell Her Majesty, all right? Sister Liu raised an eyebrow. The protagonist added, inside the Great Yan Dynasty, there's a force called the Pavilion, right? Where is it exactly? Sister Liu said she knew the place, but asked why he wanted to know. He explained, those people did something horrible to the Yan Empire. But as you both know, I'm a wonderful prince. I'd never go there just to cause chaos or anything. The girls exchanged a look. Yeah, right. They were very skeptical. Linger asked, wait, you're not going to forgive them and not slaughter everyone, are you? Smack. Another head tap. What have I been teaching you? I'm trying to build up good karma. What do you think I am, huh? Linger pointed out that all the head smacking didn't seem very karmic. Sister Liu added that sure, he built orphanages and helped the poor, but he also executed over 100 officials. Hard to tell what his plans really were. The protagonist calmed them down. The pavilion did bad things, yeah, but not everyone there is evil. Humans make mistakes. I'm just going to give them a chance to make things right. And with that, he took off at lightning speed. Linger sighed. Well, the pavilion's screwed. Totally dead, Liu agreed. Then we cut to a branch of the pavilion located within the Yan Dynasty. At the top of a mountain, an old man stood saying, ah, this place brings back memories. This is where we found the dragon, the emperor, and struck the deal. It's been over 100 years since we started this project, and now we're finally about to reap the rewards. When the time comes, I'll use her body to craft an elixir, one that might let my daughter bear a child of pure blood. A subordinate rushed in. My lord, someone's approaching the mountain. The old man raised an eyebrow. Huh? This late at night? Didn't the barrier formation stop them? The messenger replied, it's Prince Xiao Tian. He's carrying the Empress's jade, so the mountain's formation didn't block him. The elder was intrigued. Xiao Tian, the kid who survives by relying on his good looks? What does he want with our pavilion? Is anyone with him? No, sir. He came alone. But he looked serious and had an aura of mercy. The old man chuckled. An aura of mercy. This brat came all this way with that expression. He must be insane. Another elder asked, should we go help him up the mountain? Nah, let that fool climb up on his own. Once he gets to the top, throw him right back down. Our boy's making his way up the mountain, thinking to himself that he deserves an Oscar for all the acting he has to do every time. An hour later, he finally reaches the top of the pavilion. Obviously, folks, he didn't use his powers to fly up. He wanted to give them a chance not to mess things up. He came as a normal, humble person. The old man welcomes him. Prince Xiao, was the mountain climb exhausting? Without wasting time, Xiao says straight up, I was going to give you 2 chances to earn forgiveness. You already blew the first one by making me walk all the way up. Let's see if you handle the next chance better. The old man spreads his arms out and asks, Prince, why are you talking about forgiveness? What exactly did the pavilion do wrong? Our protagonist doesn't hold back. You, the pavilion of Changji, the empire of Danyang, the demon sect. All of you have interfered in the Empress's father's entire life. Not only that, but you murdered 2 of her uncles and tricked Her Majesty. You people are vile, and what you did was a massive crime. And now you still have the nerve to laugh and ask me why I should forgive you." The old man freezes. How? How do you know about that? This can't be. Our plan was flawless. How did this clueless little prince figure everything out? But Xiao just smirks right in his face. "We're so scared, oh mighty Prince Xiao. How are we supposed to get a like on this video that helps Mamoru make more juicy content for his viewers? Activate the cheeky little bell, and I'm out."